Turf up, Reggie, and really you've played here. This is a very, very nice piece of work, and they've done a marvelous job spending nearly $50 million to rejuvenate this old building here in Houston. Doesn't seem like it's very old, but by golly, it's been a long time since they opened it up.
And I remember hating to play here as a player because the surface was so hard, but I was down on that field earlier. It is very soft, it is very plush, and I can tell you right now from experience, the players love it.
Getting ready for the toss of the coin. The referee today is Fred Silva. Dave Hamilton, the umpire. Dale Williams, the head linesman. Jack Johnson is the line judge. Lewis Richard, the back judge. Merrill Douglas, the side judge, and Bob Lewis is the field judge. And
Captain, this is your coin. This is heads.
You're listening to the voice of the
Tails.
veteran referee, Fred Silva.
Heads. Tails. Who's going to call, please? Heads.
Crowd still coming in on this Sunday.
Tails is thrown. You've won the toss.
Well, the Oilers win the toss. The Oilers will receive. The Oilers are 3-2 on the year. These two teams, as we mentioned right at the top of this broadcast, one of the 6 original AFL entries. Kansas City Chiefs 1-3-1. Last Sunday, the Chiefs trailed 10-0 at half. Got the tie, 17-all, against the Jets. Houston was up 16-0 at the end of the fourth quarter, and then was outscored 32-7 over the last 3 periods, losing at Philadelphia 32-23. Warren Moon still out of the Houston lineup, but he might be back, Reggie, in a week.
I was talking with General Manager Lad Herzig prior to the ball game, and Herzig told me that the Oilers will activate Warren Moon for next week's game against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So we're just about ready for this one to unfold. We hope you'll enjoy it wherever you are this afternoon. It will be Harris, the middleman deep for the Oilers, along with Alan Pinkett, number 20, and Kenny Jackson, number 22, and Nick Lowry, the 9-year veteran out of Dartmouth, will put the ball in play.
Leonard Harris is 5'8", 163 pounds, and can really run.
And this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Lowry comes to the football. Harris at the 2. At the 15. Tries to slither outside and goes down near the 17-yard line. Leading the way, number 21 there, James Saxon. Saxon, the running back, the rookie out of San Jose State. A look at this offense for the Houston Oilers. Cody Carlson at quarterback. Pinkett and Highsmith. The veteran Drew Hill at wide receiver. Ernest Gibbons coming back after getting his bell rung last week. And Jamie Williams, the tight end. They have Davis, Munchak, Pennison, Matthews, and Steinkühler on that line. And they'll start from the 17. We look in at Cody Carlson out of Churchill High School in San Antonio. Played at Baylor. And the handoff going to Highsmith. Highsmith breaking it up to the 24-yard line. Deron Cherry, number 20, the free safety, making the tackle. Highsmith averaging 3.6 per carry. Griffin, Moss, and Bell. The Chiefs have a linebacking core of Cooper, Pearson, Hackett, and Cofield. And this is a tremendous secondary group. 93 career interceptions by the 4 starting defensive backs.
Maybe the best secondary in all of professional football because the safeties are outstanding. 2nd
down and 2. And Carlson calling on Rozier. Rozier dancing across the 30, 35, up to the 37-yard line. Rozier comes in averaging 3.6 per carry. Leonard Griffin, number 98, starting at left end on the tackle.
Immediately, the Oilers attack the weakness of the Kansas City Chiefs, which is defending the run. The Chiefs are not doing a good job because, as you can see right there, missed tackles. Missed tackles will just devastate you defensively. Linebackers have to wrap those ball carriers up and stop them.
Pickup of 13. 1st down, the Oilers operating at their own 37-yard line. Houston averaging 4 points per yard, or 4 yards per on their carries. That's Highsmith. Highsmith for a first down at the 49-yard line. Deron Cherry, the safety man, had to make the tackle. He had some help from Cofield, 54, the outside linebacker. And this Houston club on the move in the opening moments, on the ground.
Highsmith, 6'1", 235 pounds, the third player selected in the 1987 draft from the University of Miami. He held out, didn't come to camp until October. He has had a couple of knee surgeries, but I'll tell you, when this fella is healthy, he might be one of the brightest prospects in pro football. Alonzo Highsmith.
That's Gibbons going to the far side. Rozier getting the yardage along the ground at will, moving it to the 43-yard line. And that offensive line of Davis, Munchak, Pennison, Matthews, and Steinkuhler really rough right now.
You can see the red shirts being pushed back into the secondary. Look at Hackett, number 56. They aren't around the ball carrier. In order to stop a rushing attack that is taking over the game like this, you're going to have to defeat those blocks at the line of scrimmage and get some penetration into the backfield. If you don't, the Houston Oilers will continue to run this football right down the Chiefs' throat.
Cooper made that last tackle for Kansas City. Rozier set out at the top of the screen right side, and the handoff goes to Highsmith. And Highsmith has a first down at the 38-yard line. Tackle made by Aaron Pearson, number 96.
Rod Russ, the defensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, cannot be very pleased with the tackling and the assignment. You see, defending the run is a great deal of discipline. You have to stay in your lanes. You have to do your assignment, Jay. If you don't, the ball carrier is going to dance around and look for space to run the football.
The man in the black suit, Jerry Granville. He'll be 47 next Friday. Detroit native, the head man of the Houston Oilers. On first down, Gibbons again in motion, this time to the near side. The call again for Rozier. And Rozier is down near the 34-yard line, wrapped up there by Cooper, the outside linebacker, number 55. Cooper, a free agent, originally a Seattle draft. There's Rozier out of Nebraska. He was with Pittsburgh in the USFL, the 83 Heisman winner, Mike Rozier.
We talked about the Chiefs' outstanding secondary, and they have great talent along that defensive line. But the area where they're probably lacking some, and the Oilers are attacking that area, are the outside linebacking positions. You'll see the Oilers taking the ball right off tackle.
They've already picked up 50 yards along the ground and have 3 first downs. On second down,
there it is again.
Rozier, not much this time. Good job for Tom Cofield, number 54, the big physical right outside linebacker who went to school at Elizabeth City down in North Carolina. Number 56 coming off there, Dino Hackett, and 54 Cofield.
Tim Cofield is one of the strongest players in the National Football League. As a matter of fact, he won the NFL Strongman contest a couple of years ago. Comes out on third down situations, though, as the Chiefs go to their dime defense.
And we've got the red gun offense on the field for the first time. The 4 wide receivers. Carlson out of the shotgun. Penalty marker down. Carlson throws, and Curtis Duncan, number 80, couldn't hold on. Coverage for Deron Cherry. And as we mentioned, the marker is down. Fred Silva and his crew will discuss it. Offside, Kansas City.
Defense, number 99, lining up in the neutral zone.
Mike
Offside.
Bell lined up in the neutral zone,
down.
number 99.
Here's the red gun offense. It's a formation in which the Oilers spread everybody across the field. You see number 99, Mike Bell, leaving too early. It's going to be about third down and 2 now. It's going to make it a much easier call for Cody Carlson, because now he not only has the option of the pass, Jay, but he can also run the draw play or run the quick play to Rozier.
And Rozier comes back in there, and they're at the 29-yard line. Hill goes in motion to the far side. They bang it up the middle with Rozier, and it's going to be close. It looked like he got forward progress for the first down. Mike Bell, 99, on the tackle, and a little shoving and pushing in the middle of the pile. We might get a measurement here.
You're going to see a lot of shoving and pushing today, primarily when the Oilers get on defense. They have a reputation of being a tough outfit, very aggressive hitters. And usually when you face a team like that, Jay, if you don't get at them first, they'll dominate you.
Here's the 10-minute ticker. Nothing shaking in those first 3 games in the early going. Rams now out in front 3-0 over Atlanta. And the other game scoreless. Only 3 points scored in the whole league to this point. Well, they did not get the first down. Just inches shy. The crowd yelling, go, go.
Of course, you get 50,000 assistant coaches on a play like this.
They're going to go, and you can't blame them the way they've moved this ball down the field along the ground.
Well, I think if you have Mike Rozier, and he's always been very good inside the tackles, and you've got this big, powerful offensive line, why, I would go for it also.
Rozier, the single setback. Hill in motion. Quarterback sneak, first down.
Good call.
Cody Carlson on his own.
Good call. I think the Chiefs were expecting the ball to go to Rozier, and before those linebackers had a chance to come to the line of scrimmage, watch. Carlson falling in right behind center, Jay Pennerson. There's that gap right there. Good block on Bill Moss, the nose tackle, and the Oilers pick up the first down and can keep this drive going.
The ball at the 26. We played nearly 6 minutes of this first quarter, and Houston has controlled this game just the way they've liked to do. Rozier now going wide to the right. Gibbons is set as the slot back left, and that is Highsmith. Highsmith getting to the 23-yard line, wrapped up by Mike Bell, number 99. Bell, second in the Chiefs' all-time sack list. Highsmith, who played at Miami, very fine blocker.
We talked about the success that quarterback Cody Carlson has had in the Astrodome. He has fared poorly on the road. He hasn't hit receivers. He's missed open players. He just hasn't played very well. And Jerry Glanville expects Carlson to play better if the Oilers are to win this football game today.
Houston 8th in rushing and 24th in passing coming into today's action. Alan Pinkett, number 20, is in the backfield now. The little delay to Pinkett, dances back against the grain. Pinkett at the 20, down to the 19. Nice bit of freelancing on the part of Alan Pinkett, who played at Notre Dame. Deron Cherry again, number 20 on the tackle. He is the safety man, and when the safeties are making a lot of tackles as they are here in the early going, you know that line's not doing the job.
Well, that means that line and those linebackers are being blocked. Alan Pinkett is a very versatile performer. The Oilers are very talented in their backfield. They have Highsmith, the number 1 draft choice, Rozier, a number 1 draft choice, and Lorenzo White was the first-round draft choice today. Yet, Alan Pinkett is the guy who is putting up all the big numbers.
He had 3 touchdowns in the win over the Raiders back in September. 3rd down, 3. And Pinkett is dumped. And it was a fine play by Leonard Griffin, who's starting at left end today. Griffin, number 98. He and Neil Smith, number 90, have been rotating in the starting spots there at left end.
Well, you wonder about that call because that was 3rd down and about 3.5 or 4. A little bit too far to run the football, but that shows you the kind of confidence or lack of it, I might say, in Cody Carlson right now.
Tony Zendejas. Only 4 out of 10 in field goal attempts. It'll be a 38-yarder. The hold by Montgomery, and the kick is wide, and Zendejas continues to have all kinds of trouble. The Oilers eat up a lot of the clock, but come away with nothing. We'll be back with more right after these messages. With Reggie Rucker, Jay Randolph in the Dome in Houston. No score with 6:33 remaining in the first quarter, and the first opportunity for the Kansas City Chiefs on offense.
You got to admire the Chiefs defense, which really stiffened once the Oilers got down in scoring territory. They did a fine job of giving them nothing.
Steve DeBerg at the controls. And he's going to throw on first down over the middle, and it's complete up at the 28-yard line. The tight end, the rookie, Alfredo Roberts out of Miami. DeBerg at quarterback, and starting in the backfield with him today, Paul Palmer and Larry Moriarty, Stephon Page and Carlos Carson, and the tight end Roberts, who just caught that first pass. Alt, Baldinger, Ball, Lutz, and Eatman in the line. 2nd down 2. Double tight end now. Roberts and Hayes, 87 and 85 are there. In motion, Carlos Carson. The pitch coming back. Palmer trying to get the first down and looked like he just stepped out of bounds at the line marker. Bostic and Donaldson, 25 and 31, the two safeties running him out on the play. Paul Palmer, who played at Temple.
Palmer's speed gets this yardage for him. Watch how quick he is. He makes that good move inside. Now outside, he just outruns everybody. He's not happy with the late hit by Jeff Donaldson, number 31.
He might have won the '86 Heisman if it hadn't have been for a fellow named Testaverde, who is struggling these days at Tampa Bay.
All right.
Lyles, Grimsley, Smith, and Meads, along with Brown, Allen, Bostic, and Donaldson. Play action, right up the middle, and look out. It is caught by Carlos Carson. Carson did a great job of getting to that football that was thrown up for grabs, really. Steve Brown, 24. Patrick Allen, 29 on the tackle. First down, Kansas City.
Key to this play is the great sailing job that the Chiefs do in pretending that it's a run. Now, Steve Brown took the fake, thought it was a run. Carlos Carson got behind everybody. Had DeBerg laid that ball out there better, that would have been a touchdown.
DeBerg hit just as he got it away, and the ball was a bit of a floater. First down. Lyles putting on some pressure for Houston on that last play, number 93. That's Larry Moriarty out of Notre Dame, averaging 4 yards per carry. William Fuller, number 95, on the tackle. Moriarty averaging 4 yards a carry. Palmer averaging 3.5 yards a carry. And Kansas City, as a team, with a 3.5 yard average per rush.
The key for DeBerg, Jay, is pass protection. The Oilers are a team now that gets better rush on the quarterback. And in order for DeBerg to be successful, his offensive line will be a key. They have to block the different schemes of the Oilers.
2nd down and about 13. Over the middle, the tight end, Roberts. Roberts is down to the 31-yard line, wrapped up there by the strong safety, 25, Keith Bostic.
The reason being, DeBerg is not a quarterback who is mobile. This is his 12th year and 4th team. He likes to sit in the pocket and pick people out and read the defenses. Now, if the Oilers make him move about and they confuse him defensively, then they'll have some success.
DeBerg brings them out at the 32. Page and Carson, the wide receivers. 3rd and 6. DeBerg on the run, stops and throws, and a catch is made. And a fine catch it was in heavy traffic by James Saxon, who had come into the backfield, number 21. Donaldson, 31, the free safety on the tackle, with Steve Brown, number 24.
The Chiefs like Saxon, the rookie from San Jose State. Good fake right there. Watch now DeBerg rolling to his right. And watch the catch by Saxon, number 20. When you see the extension and the good hands, it's hard to teach young players to catch that football with your hands, but he's very reliable because he is capable of catching the football that way.
That's Palmer. And Palmer getting down near the 12. Tackle made by Donaldson, 31. Smith, 54. Reminder to you that we'll be selecting the Budweiser MVP for today's game at the conclusion of this afternoon's action. And big number 75, Irv Eatman out of UCLA, arguing there about something.
Eatman's been back and forth this year, Jay. He started on the left side at tackle, then was sat down when Alt came back, lost his job for a while when Lutz went to right tackle. Then Lutz went inside to guard. They put Eatman back on the right side. He is an outstanding pass blocker.
Chiefs missing Addix and Joswiak, two very fine guards. That is Palmer trying to knock it in across the 10. He just did get to the 10-yard line. Ray Childers, number 79, made the play. They're trying to tackle the ball here a little bit, Reggie.
All right,
Can't blame him for that.
Yeah, let's see Palmer here protecting the football. Once you get inside down here, your first thought is to protect the football. There, the late hits again, and You're going to see this all day long with the Oilers. They believe in putting a lot of helmets on the ball carrier.
They deserve that reputation, huh? 3rd down and 3. Saxon in the backfield, 21 with Palmer. DeBerg may be changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
He's pointing out who to pick up.
Here's the throw, and incomplete. It was intended for Carlos Carson. Coverage back there by Steve Brown, 24. Carson with a little shove trying to get in the clear. He got a step, but the pass overthrown by DeBerg, and a field goal try coming up.
The Chiefs got exactly what they wanted. They knew the blitz was coming, and they were going to get a one-on-one. Whenever you can get a one-on-one with Carson or Page, you're going to go that way. Now, if this fella misses this kick, we've got a big story.
Got a big story because he is 5 for 5 in field goals, 8 for 8 in PATs.
One of the great long-distance kicker that has ever played this game.
Nick Lowry out of Dartmouth. 28-yard attempt. Bill Kenny holding. It's on the way, and it is good. And the visitors from Kansas City have the lead. 1:34 left to play in the first quarter. 10 plays, 70 yards. Lowry's field goal. Kansas City with the lead.
And we talked about a team having a personality, and certainly DeBerg gives the Chiefs that, Jay. I think the Chiefs had been passive under Bill Kenny. That's not a knock on Bill Kenny, but under DeBerg, they seem to be a much more aggressive football team, particularly offensively.
That is Harris, the deep man there in the troika, set back to receive. Harris, number 83. Pinkett, 20. Kenny Johnson, 22, also back. Lowry set to put it up. Harris averaging better than 22 yards per kickoff return. Penalty marker goes down. He got it to the 33, coming right up the middle. Sidney Johnson, the cornerback, 45 on the tackle. And we'll see what Fred Silva and his crew have come up with, as the indication is that this penalty will go against the Houston Oilers.
On the run back, number 33, holding. 10 yards, first down, timeout.
Spencer Tillman called for the infraction. We'll be back with more from the Dome right after this. Up to now, both clubs have had field goal opportunities. The Chiefs were able to cash in with Lowry from 28, and Zendejas missed his opportunity from 37 yards out. Here come the Oilers. Rozier 30, Highsmith 32 in the backfield. Carlson to the right side, complete over there to Drew Hill. That's the 17th catch of this season for Hill. The Jets are out over Cincinnati 9-0 in the early going. Cleveland leading Seattle. Indianapolis and Buffalo scoreless. Or excuse me, that's Indianapolis leading 10-0. Chicago 7-0 over Detroit. New England has an early lead. So do the Rams. And Washington, Dallas 7-7 up in Big D. Minnesota an early lead over Tampa Bay 7-0. Here it's 3-0. Kansas City. 2nd down and 2 at the 26. Tight end comes in motion. Hand off to Rozier. Rozier, first down at the 29-yard line. Tackle made by Mike Bell, number 99.
The Chiefs had their number 1 draft choice in there that time, and Neil Smith, number 90 from Nebraska. The Oilers went right at him. Neil Smith, outstanding player at Nebraska. Great speed and great upper body strength. They're very high on him. They know he's going to be a great pass rusher, but Rod Rusk told me that they think he's going to be just as effective against the run. Didn't do so good that time.
Carlson has time, and he goes long and nobody there. One of the receivers, Gibbons, seemed to fall down, and Carlson is hurting a little bit as he took a shot. It was Cofield coming in to bang him up a bit.
The biggest innovation in the pass offenses of the 80s and the 90s will be option pass running. That's letting the receiver run whatever he sees. But the other problem with that is not knowing sometimes what he's going to do, Jay. The receiver may think inside and the quarterback's thinking outside, and you're going to get some misfires just like that.
Carlson talking things over with his head coach, Jerry Glanville. And into the game comes the second-year man from Montana, number 10, Brent Peace. Peace has only thrown 5 passes. He's completed 2 for 27 yards.
This could be catastrophic if Carlson can't continue, because Peace is very inexperienced, and I would think that if Peace has to continue at quarterback for Houston, you should see Kansas City begin to do many more things defensively with the blitz, with different looks and different kinds of pressure.
Of course, Carlson has had trouble getting the job done over the past couple of weeks. Second down and 10. Again, the tight end goes in motion. Whistle, hand off to Rozier. The whistle before the play, just as it started to develop, actually. And it looked like Bruce Davis, number 77, was moving in that offensive line.
Offense, number 77. False start prior to the snap. Still second down.
Davis out of UCLA, good pass protector, came from the Raiders in November of '87.
Here's something that has been plaguing the Oilers offense and defense for that matter. 490 yards of penalties this season. They're the most penalized team in the National Football League.
And that was their second penalty of the game. They've been penalized 15 yards. Brent Peace now quarterbacking the Oilers, and the Chiefs put their prevent defense in there on second down and 15. Peace throwing, and it is intercepted. Coming back with it, number 34, Lloyd Burris. Burris down to the 28-yard line. Curtis Duncan, number 80, made the stop. The pass intended for Gibbons, poorly thrown. Gibbons was in the clear.
This ball is just overthrown. Peace looking all the way for Drew Hill. Hill had a step or two on his cornerback, and he threw the ball right over the head of Hill, right into the hands of Lloyd Barris, and that's what the Kansas City Chiefs do to you. They turn the football over. They have that great secondary, people that can pick the ball off, and you see right there what happened to Brent Peace after he made that injudicious throw.
Burris returning it for 25 yards, his 19th career interception. Kansas City setting up shop at the 28-yard line. DeBerg going for it all, and it is incomplete. Steve Brown battling Carlos Carson for the ball at the goal line. Penalty marker down, and in the end zone, that is Carson down for Kansas City.
Carlos Carson, one of the great big play players in pro football. Last week took a pass 80 yards for a touchdown in that comeback tying effort by the Chiefs with Philadelphia.
Offense, number 87, pass interference, 10 yards, still first down.
Alfredo Roberts is called for offensive pass interference.
Let's take another look at this play down here. It's a one-on-one coverage. Brown has Carson covered well. You're going to see in the right corner of your screen, Carson come underneath. That's what he should do. He tries to make the short grab. He doesn't come up with it, but of more importance to the Kansas City Chiefs is the condition or the health of Carlos Carson, who is now walking off and headed back to the Chiefs bench.
And the second penalty called against Kansas City. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Brent Peace, who threw the interception. Kansas City ready to operate. DeBerg hit just as he got it away. It was William Fuller, number 95, coming in there. He has 4 sacks.
And you can see DeBerg, how demonstrative he is. He really yells. And let's take another look at this play. William Fuller, number 95, was having a very good year for Houston. Gets right up in DeBerg's face. Now watch DeBerg as he gets up. He's going to really give those offensive linemen a piece of his mind.
Second down and 20 at the 38-yard line. Cody Carlson has been taken to the Oiler locker room. They'll X-ray the right thumb. And the sack for William Fuller. He had some help from Ray Childress. These two ends coming in to bring down DeBerg.
Let's watch Fuller again on the left side of your screen. Good outside moves. He beats Irv Eatman right there with a good spin move back inside. The one thing the Oilers looked to do this year was to improve their pass rush, and they're getting it this year from both William Fuller and Sean Jones.
The end of the first quarter. The Chiefs lead the Oilers 3-0. 3-0 here at the end of the first period. It was obvious that Houston can run the football, and they may have to do more of it now with Carlson out of this lineup.
Certainly have to. Brent Peace coming in now. You saw the problems when you bring a young quarterback in under this kind of pressure. First time he hadn't had a chance to warm up. He overthrew Drew Hill, interception. Kansas City has the ball now, but the Oilers, being a playoff contending team, have been through this before. They have the kind of defense that understands when things get rough, you have to take control of the game. And you saw that when William Fuller had 2 consecutive sacks on Steve DeBerg.
3rd down and 26. The Chiefs have had a handful after getting the interception. This defensive unit of the Oilers has really come at them. DeBerg has time. He throws it out here to Palmer. And Palmer gets down to the 38-yard line, far shy of the needed yardage. Sean Jones, number 96, in there for the Oilers on the tackle.
That's one way to handle a real fierce pass rush with a screen pass. You take a look at first quarter stats. The Oilers were running the football a great deal, 63 yards. And, of course, Kansas City having success passing.
The free agent, Kelly Goodburn of Emporia State, averaging 41.3 yards per punt, does the kicking. And it's going to go into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. We're going to take time out as we're in the first moment of the second quarter. Kansas City with the lead, 3-0.
Today's game is brought to you by Acura, precision crafted performance exclusively at your Acura dealer. By GTE. At GTE, the power is on. And by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be.
Brent Peace at quarterback for Houston. The handoff to Highsmith. Highsmith getting about 3. Ball popping out of there. It had been blown dead. Carlson, we are told, has a dislocated thumb.
All right, you take a look at the Oilers offensive line. It's an area of this football team that has shown dramatic improvement under Kim Helton. Helton came here and replaced Bill Walsh, who was here 2 years ago. And under Helton, the Oilers have decreased the number of sacks. And this year, they're playing much more efficiently, as you've seen them being able to run the football. Now, they're going to have to really run this thing now with Brent Peace at quarterback.
On 2nd down, Peace going to put it up. And he throws, and it is complete. Drew Hill makes the catch for a 1st down. The play had been blown dead at the 37-yard line. There's a penalty marker down. I think they'll bring it back. Coverage by Albert Lewis, 29.
I think Bill Moss was held, and Moss is a guy who needs 2 people to block him, and they couldn't get it.
Offense, number 52, holding.
Jay Pennison, the center, out of Nicholls State, was a walk-on tight end in college and has made it in the professional ranks his 3rd year. He was called for the infraction. Some people might wonder, Reggie, who is the man who would quarterback this team if Peace goes down? Well, it's Alan Pinkett. He is their 3rd quarterback. He has not played quarterback since high school.
And that's the first thing they alert the offensive line. Look, we're down to our last quarterback, fellas. You have to protect. Maybe even if you have to hold, you cannot give up a clean shot on the quarterback.
It's now 1st and 17 after the penalty. They're in the shotgun. Over the middle, and Hill couldn't hold on at the 31-yard line. Burris, 34, had the coverage. Cincinnati and the Jets in a dandy in the early going. Seattle and Cleveland tied up. Indianapolis out in front of Buffalo 10-0. New England has the lead over Green Bay. Chicago leading Detroit. Rams over Atlanta 10-0. Redskins up 14-7 over Dallas. Minnesota 7-0 over Tampa Bay. And here in the Astrodome, it is 3-0 Kansas City. We're in the second period.
Drew Hill has to make a catch like that, Jay. That gives a young quarterback confidence. And when you drop passes on him, you don't help him at all.
Pinkett is in the lineup now, number 20. The throw over the middle, incomplete. As Brent Peace had to get rid of it, Pinkett was in the area. And it's punting time for Houston. And their rookie, Greg Montgomery. Mentioned Greg Montgomery. He's the new holder for Zendejas. You remember Zendejas missed a 37-yard field goal in the early going. Montgomery averaging 38.4 and also doing the holding. That's Kitrick Taylor, who's averaging 5.3 per punt return back to receive. But Montgomery's still learning that holding situation, and he and Zendejas haven't seemed to get it together. This kick comes to the far sideline, and taking it and stepping out of bounds with it, Kitrick Taylor, and a little shoving going on. When we come back, Kansas City will have the ball at their own 48-yard line. Carlson has been trying to throw a few passes over there. He has the dislocated thumb. You see, they've taped him up.
I don't think you can throw a ball when you have a dislocated thumb. I've had some dislocated fingers. Those things are very painful, and you lose strength.
39-yard punt, and Kansas City set to put it in play. Pitchback coming to Palmer, and Palmer just barely back to the line of scrimmage and fumbled in under there. Let's see.
Houston recovered it. Whether he was down or not will be judgment.
Houston will come up with the football.
Here's Paul Palmer, number 26, cutting back inside. You see how loosely that ball is being held. And Richard Byrd, number 71, is the guy that got his hand in under the ball and poked it out before Palmer fell.
And Sean Jones found that ball between his legs and just hung on there. Jones, number 96.
They're looking at replay. I think replay is going to confirm that the ball was punched loose before Paul Palmer hit the AstroTurf.
Former NFL official Royal Cathcart is the replay official here today.
Another look at it. Going to your left, number 26. You're going to see coming from the right of your screen, number 71, Richard Byrd. Watch now. See, there's one knee down, but two knees don't hit the turf. The ball comes out. This is a better angle on it. You'll see Byrd, number 71, right there. Watch the right hand. See? Knocked the ball loose. Palmer had one knee down. I think this ball should belong to the Oilers.
There's Mr. Cathcart. Ed Wisniewski sitting just to our left of him, to his right.
And Jay, I think you feel differently about this. I'm one who believes in instant replay. I think as a player, there were so many calls that were incorrect, that the one thing that we would like to see as players is that if there's a glaring mistake made, that it's corrected.
Well, I'll go along with glaring mistakes being corrected, but I don't like the instant replay, and never have, never will. I guess I'm old-fashioned.
This is America.
That's right.
This is America.
Speaking of that, I hope everybody will vote the first Tuesday in November.
And by the way, it's good to have you back from Seoul. I know you had a great time over there. You did a wonderful job.
Well, it was a real interesting assignment, and we're all very proud, of course, of what happened over there. And they're still reviewing this.
The play stands is called. It's first down.
All right. That only took about 2 minutes. We really didn't need it.
Well, the Oilers will tell you differently.
Sure. First down, Houston at the 47-yard line. Further word on Carlson. They're calling it a chip thumb. Penalty marker goes down.
That's a
He's going long, and it is a touchdown to Ennis Gibbons. Penalty marker down. They may bring it back.
That was a beautifully thrown pass from Brent Peace. That's a part of the Houston offense that has been missing.
It's coming back. Illegal procedure has been called against Houston.
Offense, number 85. Illegal motion, 5 yards, still first down.
Drew Hill, the 9-year veteran out of Georgia Tech. 4th penalty against Houston. That's a killer.
And what happens? Brent Peace called 2 streaks. That meant he was sending both Hill and Gibbons deep. Both receivers were trying to get a very quick start, but it's unforgivable because you must look down at the ball. You can't leave until the ball is snapped, and as a result, the Oilers are penalized severely for what would have been a go-ahead touchdown.
Peace thought he had one, I'll tell you that. 1st and 15. Peace has got all kinds of time and doesn't come close to getting it to Gibbons. He had Gibbons as well as Highsmith in the same area. Both of them were clear, but he couldn't get it to him.
This was after the touchdown pass. Watch the eyes light up when he thinks it's a touchdown. Hey, a little bit more exuberant than that, would you?
Hey, the first one's the toughest, right? Peace is 0 for 4, thrown 1 interception. As we said, Carlson with a chip fracture in the right thumb is the latest we get, and he could return, but only in an emergency.
Now, the Chiefs aren't a big blitzing team. Rod Russ doesn't really like to send his linebackers, but he has a young quarterback, and I think if he's going to put some pressure on this guy, he might start to send some people.
Gibbons goes in motion. Rozier got near the 50-yard line. Tackle made by Bill Moss, number 63, the former All-American from Pittsburgh. We've got 12 minutes to play in this first half.
Cincinnati 5-0 record.
Seattle leading Cleveland now. Indianapolis surprising 10-0 over Buffalo. New England and Green Bay tied up. Chicago leads Detroit. The Rams lead Atlanta. Washington over Dallas by 4. Minnesota and Tampa Bay tied at 7. Kansas City leading this one 3-0. 3rd down and 14. And nobody there again. Peace not anywhere near close. He had Gibbons clear at the 35. Overthrew him by 15 yards.
And Peace was feeling the pressure again. The Chiefs sent 2 linebackers in addition to the 4, so they had 6 people coming that time. Watch it. You can see all the pressure around Peace. Number 29 is Albert Lewis, the cornerback who's even blitzing. Peace steps up a little bit, but he is way off the mark with this throw. Good defense by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Greg Montgomery out of Michigan State to punt to Kittrick Taylor, number 82. A high flyer. Fair catch called for. Taken in at the 13-yard line. And that's where the Chiefs will begin as we have 11 minutes, 26 seconds left to play in this first half. And we've got a penalty marker down. Back upfield at the 45-yard line. It was a 38-yard punt with the fair catch called, and
illegal
Fred Silva will tell us about it. Illegal downfield, you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we still see that more often than we should.
Offense, number 31. Illegally downfield. The re-kick, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
The call going against Jeff Donaldson.
There's Frank Gans in his 2nd year with the Kansas City Chiefs.
45 or 49-year-old native of Altoona, Pennsylvania. Grew up in Pittsburgh. Got the game plan in the back of his trousers there.
He does something that no other coach that I've ever seen do before games. He shakes the hand of each player prior to kickoff.
Jerry Glanville in his 3rd year here. A linebacker at Montana State and then at Northern Michigan. Had a great high school coaching career in Ohio. This kick, a shorter kick coming up and taken at the 27-yard line. Kittrick Taylor coming up fast, hit by Bostic 25.
That's the way a professional kick returner does his job, Jay. He doesn't let that ball hit. He runs to meet that football and catches it and saves his football team a lot of lost yardage.
The much injured Herman Hurd, number 44, now in the backfield with Larry Moriarty. Hurd out of Southern Colorado. First and 10 at the 27-yard line after the 28-yard punt. This is Hurd. Hurd cracking up near the 30-yard line. Tackle to Al Smith, 54, and Jeff Donaldson, 31.
Despite the success of Paul Palmer, Hurd is a player that the Chiefs feel they have to get back into the lineup. He's the kind of player that can take a short pass and turn it into an 80-yard touchdown run. Very versatile performer, very exciting player.
They'd like to get Christian Okoye back in the lineup also. He's had that broken thumb. 2nd and 7. DeBerg throwing quickly, and a fine catch made, and holding on at the 46-yard line, Stephon Page. Steve Brown, 24, had the coverage. Page had caught 21 passes for 240 yards coming into today. He's caught at least one pass in 40 straight, has 37 career touchdowns. He played at Fresno State. Pickup of 17.
I have great respect for receivers that do that. Come across the middle, get high up in the air, exposing their ribs, because that is the first part of the anatomy that defensive backs go after. Still make the catch and get hit 2 or 3 different ways. That's a pro.
Reminds me of Reggie Rucker.
Oh, thank you. Good lead in, huh?
Yeah, first and 10 at the 47-yard line. Look out, DeBerg in trouble, got it away. And it is a first down at the 42-yard line. The catch made by 86, Emil Harry. And watch here as DeBerg was in trouble.
That's number 99, Doug Smith, and number 79, Ray Childress, who's putting the lick on DeBerg. But that's what DeBerg is giving this club now. He's very fiery. He's a competitor. He wants to win in the worst way, and he'll do anything, and he'll say almost anything to some of these players to get them motivated.
He's thrown for over 20,000 yards in his checkered career. That is James Saxon, who's back in the game, number 21, trying to get outside. And a good play by the cornerback, Patrick Allen, 29, to corral him as he got inside the 40 at about the 39-yard line.
Speaking of Patrick Allen, number 29 of the Houston Oilers, very good cornerback. He and Steve Brown are one of the top tandems in pro football. He held out this year. He was late reporting, as was Brown, and they are bump and run players. They like to get right up in the wide receiver's face and run with him all over the field. And Glanville says because these players were late reporting and they've had a few nicks, they haven't been able to play the bump and run style of defense that they want to play.
2nd down and 7. 8.5 to play first half. Chiefs leading 3-0. DeBerg steps up, throws over the middle. Good touch. Close to the first down. Carlos Carson, who was shaken up earlier and is back in there. Tackle made by Allen. Let's pause briefly now for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Now this is an extremely difficult pass to cover. A short pattern on a defender, but watch number 29 covering one of the great receivers in football, number 88, Carlos Carson. Now watch the reaction time once that receiver makes that catch, and a good tackle by Patrick Allen.
3rd and 1. Double tight end alignment for Kansas City. Give it to the second man through Herman Hurd, and he didn't get there. What a play by Fuller. He almost took his head off. Fuller,
wow.
Number 95 out of North Carolina, really getting the job done.
So you want to play pro football, huh? Man, what a play by Fuller. Fuller has been outstanding today. 2 sacks earlier on DeBerg, and that time just almost decapitating Hurd as he entered the middle of the line of scrimmage.
Nick Lowry out of Dartmouth. This one will be a 51-yarder. Bill Kenny to hold. He has 15 in his career of 50 or more yards. On the way, is it long enough? It is. And he is 1 field goal away at 50 or more yards of tying Jan Stenerud's league record, and 2 away from setting a new record in the NFL.
And he is the only kicker in the history of the league that has ever kicked 2 of these in one game, Jay, twice.
Lowry, a big man on the offense, has given a 6-0 lead to Kansas City. DeBerg, of course, has been around in his career. Here he is in a Tampa Bay Buccaneer uniform and running the football, something that he doesn't like to do and doesn't do very well. Then at Mile High Stadium, he wore the Denver Broncos uniform. Steve DeBerg. And DeBerg then, of course, with the 49ers, calling an audible at the line of scrimmage. Here's a man who no longer is a babysitter to the stars.
And I understand he's opening up a new line of products, collapsible luggage.
He's got a lot of stickers on his bag. There he is, Mr. DeBerg. I'm John the Baptist of the NFL, preparing the way for the next quarterback messiah. Well, he's the messiah right now.
That's right. Man knows how to get out of town in a hurry. He's doing a fine job for the Kansas City Chiefs. And, you know, we were talking about personality. I think more than anything else, he brings a great personality to this offense of the Chiefs.
Lowry has put the Chiefs up 6-0. This is Harris bringing it back. Harris gets out over the 25-yard line. Greg Hill, number 23, on the tackle. And Houston will try to get unraveled offensively. A look at the 10-minute ticker as we watch Brent Peace come into the lineup. Cincinnati's got the lead over the Jets. Seattle over Cleveland. Indianapolis pouring it on Buffalo. New England, Green Bay tied up. Chicago still leading Detroit. Rams up 13-0. Washington by 4 over Dallas. Minnesota, Tampa Bay tied at 7. First down at the 27-yard line for the Oilers. Pitch back. Highsmith. And Highsmith gets a couple before it is Leonard Griffin, number 98, at left end. Griffin and Smith rotating in that position just as they rotate the starting shots, actually, and one of the Chiefs is shaken up. That's Mike Bell down.
That looks like Leonard Griffin.
Or is it Leonard Griffin?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. It is Griffin. Griffin out of Grambling. 6'4" and 270. Third-year man.
You know, Griffin and number 1 draft choice Neil Smith take turns alternating starting games.
And we'll tell you this telecast presented by authority of the NFL, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Houston Oilers and the NFL is prohibited. The game is the property of the National Football League, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Houston Oilers, and all rights are reserved.
Continuing on with that idea, not only do they start alternately, but they also play alternate series. And Neil Smith may get a chance to play all the series if this is a serious injury to Leonard Griffin.
Dave Kendall, the head trainer of the Chiefs. Bud Epps there on the right. They're attending to him. Hackett, 56, coming through there.
You've been in Seoul, and I know you probably haven't kept up with all of the goings-on in the National Football League, but there has been an inordinate number of injuries, particularly at the quarterback position. And then we're finding that you're seeing a lot of players are going down. And I don't know whether it's the liberalized rules or whatever, but the game has become so fast, so quick. The athletes are so tremendously gifted that when people collide and they have these collisions, this is what happens.
Yeah. All right, and we'll continue with more NFL action here right after this from the National Football League. Second down and 8 for Houston. Stensrud, 67, now playing at left end. And that is Rozier getting enough for the first down, up just over the 40-yard line. Cofield, 54, on the tackle. Warren Moon.
Warren Moon is a big blade player, and they really need this guy back to get this offense cooking, particularly that passing game.
He's a fast healer.
Yes, he is. He's been throwing the football 75 times a day, and Warren is expecting to, I know he wants to get back out there and play next week against Pittsburgh.
Well, they may, in fact, activate him. Griffin being worked on the bench. As I mentioned, Stensrud, 67. Now playing at left end. Rozier, 40 yards on 8 carries. First down, Houston. Rozier to the 44-yard line. Stensrud again making the stop.
You see the way the Oilers are running the football. They don't want to run right at Bill Moss. Bill Moss, number 63, probably the premier nose tackle in the game. What they're doing is they're pitching the ball out. They want to get those linebackers moving, and then you'll see Rozier, Pinkett, and the rest of the Oiler backs cut back. They want to run these cutback plays, looking for daylight against the grain to pick up 4 or 5 yards of crack.
Pinkett now joining Highsmith in the backfield for the Oilers. Curtis Duncan, number 80, in at a wide receiver spot. Pinkett to about the 48-yard line. Dino Hackett, 56, the leading tackler for the Kansas City Chiefs, making the stop. Hackett out of Appalachia State, and the top tackler of the last couple of years. Pinkett going off. There's Hackett.
Has a lot of
#2 draft choice in '86.
He has a lot of problems with headaches and neck burns because he uses his head to tackle so much and causes a lot of problem on that neck cervical, that area back there.
Oilers have had 4 chances to convert third down situations in the first half. They haven't been able to do it on any of those occasions. 4 minutes left to play. Kansas City leading it 6-0. Third down and 2. Rozier and Highsmith in the backfield. And the pitch coming to Rozier. And penalty marker down. Rozier, I don't believe, got the first down as J.C. Pearson, number 24, who plays in the nickel and dime situations, came up. A holding is indicated.
Take another look at it. Left side of your screen, number 30, Mike Rozier, following behind Bruce Matthews, number 74, and number 32, Alonzo Highsmith. J.C. Pearson with an outstanding play, getting into that backfield, causing Rozier to cut up inside, and of course the Chiefs' pursuit made the play.
52, holding, 10 yards, still third down.
Penalty charge to Pennison, number 52. That's the second penalty charge to him this afternoon.
Well, he has his hands full with number 63, Bill Moss. Moss is going to be up and down that line of scrimmage, will be into the backfield. Moss, the one thing number 63 in the middle of your screen does, he not only pursues the run and gets off of tackles, but he's also one of those nose tackles that can also rush the passer. And he does those 2 things better than anybody playing the game.
6 penalties against Houston, 45 yards, third down and 12. Brent Peace quarterbacking. Cody Carlson, an injured thumb, out of the game. Peace goes down at the 28-yard line. Stensrud, 67, the 10-year man from Iowa State, who the Chiefs brought back this year, makes the play.
Well, you know, they say the only thing worse than no decision is indecision, and that's what you get with a young quarterback. He holds this football too long. Now he's bird dogging his receiver out on the right side. He's got one-on-one. Trust that the receiver will be there. You saw him pull the ball back down, and that's what happens when you get young people. They just don't make the good decisions.
Greg Montgomery to do the punting. Was a 3-step punter, now has been changed to a 2-stepper. Booms this one back there for Taylor. He's got it at the 21. Taylor gets to the 25 and goes down. Leading the way for the Oilers, Eugene Seal, number 53. Montgomery with a very fine punt. Well, of course, this is a doubleheader day, and next over most of these stations, you'll see the Battle of the Bays. AFC champion Denver Broncos, who have struggled, and the San Francisco 49ers. There'll also be some regional action, so you'll want to check the local listings for the game in your area. Doubleheader Sunday of NFL action. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Chiefs leading 6-0. And that is Herman Hurd. Hurd getting it up near the 28, penalty marker down. Robert Lyles, 93, on the tackle, holding against the Chiefs. Kansas City, a 1-3-1 record. Houston, 3-2.
Offense, number 77, holding. Still first down.
Rich Baldinger.
Baldinger out of Wake Forest. Very versatile performer at left guard, charged with the infraction. The Chiefs back in the state where they were created in 1959. Lamar Hunt had an idea, called it the American Football League. 1960, the Dallas Texans were playing football, and in May of '63, they moved to Kansas City.
I'll never forget Abner Haynes.
Oh, was he a good one. Herman Hurd crossed the 20 to the 22-yard line. Al Smith, 54. John Grimsley, 59. The two interior linebackers making the stop.
This is when you have to be very patient if you're Steve DeBerg, because you've had a 10-yard penalty. You need a lot of yardage for first down. The tendency is to try to do too much. And the Chiefs haven't been a very smooth offensive unit under any of their quarterbacks. So DeBerg ought to be very careful here. He's nursing a very slim lead in his own end of the field.
And the 2-minute warning will tell you that the Chiefs' Leonard Griffin has a jammed neck. It's questionable whether he'll return. We'll be back in a moment. Jay Randolph and Reggie Rucker with you from the Astrodome, and the Chiefs lead at 6-0.
It's one thing to talk about leadership, but I think the surest way to demand leadership is through performance. And Steve DeBerg is 8 of 10 for 103 yards, and he hasn't thrown any interceptions. And I think that's a stabilizing influence on this offense.
DeBerg going from the gun on second down. Steps up and throws, and it is intercepted by Richard Johnson, number 23. Johnson's second interception of this season. The #1 draft choice out of Wisconsin in his 4th year.
Two things I talked about earlier. Don't take any chances down here. You've got a slim lead. You don't want to put the ball up. You should not have thrown that football because number 88, Carlos Carson, was triple teamed. That's the one thing that will kill you just as sure as cyanide. Interceptions in your own end of the field.
And an opportunity. As you see, DeBerg is not pleased with himself.
And he's just as tough on himself as he is with other players when they don't get their job done.
Rozier, number 30, in the backfield with Brent Peace out of the shotgun. Peace throwing and intercepted right back at the 25-yard line. It is J.C. Pearson's first interception of this season. The free agent out of the University of Washington. So back and forth they go.
You just don't do things like this. This is not high school. This is professional football. You just don't toss footballs out there for anyone. These people are paid well for what they do. They know how to catch the football. J.C. Pearson right there. Excellent coverage. It was a pass that you just can't throw.
Trying to get it to Drury. First career interception.
You see, there's no harm in throwing the football away, Jay. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you just don't.
No, there's no harm at all. In fact, it probably is the better part of valor in a situation like this. 1:47 to go. Waning moments of the first half. And look out! Oh, my, almost intercepted. Al Smith had his hands on it, batted it. Childress almost came up with it. It was intended for Palmer.
I thought we almost had a record because I don't think I've ever seen 3 straight interceptions. Here it is again.
We came
number
close.
17. Good hit right there by Al Smith. Ball comes right back to Ray Childress. Childress, of course, has defensive linemen's hands. Those are boards.
Second down and 10 at the 27-yard line. Kansas City leading at 6-0. DeBerg out into the flat it comes to Palmer. And Palmer down at the 25-yard line. And the Oilers are indicating a fumble. But I think the play had been blown dead. We'll wait till they unravel it.
Paul Palmer, who fumbled once before, is a very explosive runner.
Doug Smith, number 99, in there for Houston. They call a timeout.
The other thing about Palmer is that he's 5'9", 180 pounds, so he's a very small back, and he's going to take a lot of abuse.
Timeout with 1:29 to play in the first half. We'll be back right after this.
Let's watch this. Coming to the right of your screen, you'll see number 99, Doug Smith. He weighs 280 pounds. Now watch the ball come away. Paul Palmer at 180 pounds, just a physical mismatch. That's what happens when little guy meets big guy.
It was a mismatch of sorts.
Little guy loses.
3rd down and 10 from the 27 for Kansas City.
Looks like blitz. They're coming.
Penalty markers are down. DeBerg throws over. And is it a catch?
They're signaling catch.
They're indicating Stephon Page made the catch. Now, wait a minute. They'll bring it back. Of course, we mentioned a penalty marker down. Patrick Allen had the coverage. It's going to go against Kansas City.
26 offense, illegal motion.
What happened?
3rd down.
What happens
charged against Palmer?
What happens when you get the bear look? When you have 8, 9 men up around the line of scrimmage, the offensive people become paranoid. They know that there are more people coming than they can block, and they become anxious. Watch. See, everybody's up around the line of scrimmage. Palmer, number 26, is moving forward. You cannot move forward before the ball is snapped. And, of course, the illegal motion, and it negated that good pass and catch by DeBerg and Page.
4 penalties, 30 yards now for Kansas City. They go with a shot up the middle to Saxon. Saxon getting to about the 28-yard line. Timeout called by Houston. One of the officials getting in the middle of this one.
There's Saxon coming right up the middle. Come on, get out of the way, umpire. That's the umpire that stands right there.
The umpire today is Dave Hamilton.
Got to be a little quicker afoot, Dave.
We have 1:17 to play in this first half. 2 field goals for Lowry of 28 and 51 yards, the only scoring. Look at the scores. Cincinnati and the Jets are tied up.
Maybe the Jets are for real.
Seattle leading Cleveland. Indianapolis, boy, they're rolling over Buffalo at this point in the proceedings. Green Bay over New England. Chicago 14-0 over Detroit. Washington now 28-10 over Dallas.
Looks like they have a block on here, Jay, and this is a smart move, and I'll tell you why after this.
They've done a good job blocking punts, this Houston club. This one, you could see it coming. Jeff Donaldson. And it will belong to Houston. Donaldson out of Colorado, leading that secondary and making the big play here.
Goodburn mishandles it for half a second. That's all that's necessary as Donaldson, number 31, come. They have 10 men coming on the play. They've got more people coming than Kansas City can block.
Just a week ago today, they blocked 2 punts at Philadelphia. Fairs and Seal getting the job done there.
And the reason why it's a good play, well, we got to get back to live action.
We'll let you develop that point in a minute. It was a 12-yard punt, if you want to call it that. The block, piece out of the shotgun. And he throws, and it's over the head of wide open Curtis Duncan. Duncan was wide open. He could have gotten down to about the 23, but Peace just has been unable to deliver the football.
You see, there's a lot of nervous anxiety in the pass pocket. They just don't have the patience to sit back and let things develop. Peace was gripping that ball so tightly, he just fired that thing about 5 feet over the head of a running free Curtis Duncan. He is 0 of 7. He has 1 interception and has been sacked once for an 11-yard loss. Not too good.
And they booed Carlson here when he went off and applauded Peace when he came on.
Until he can play.
On second down, Peace throws and incomplete. He threw it into very heavy traffic. Looked like he was trying to get it to Curtis Duncan, and he had to pay a little bit for that. And the natives are very restless here at the end of this first half.
I think right now Brent Peace really doesn't have an idea of what he's doing. He's just out there grab bagging with his offense. Of course, the plays are being called for him, but he really isn't patient enough, or does he have the experience to execute right now? And he is under some pressure. I mean, it's not easy to sit back in there and throw that football knowing you're going to get drilled, as did Angelo Snipes that time.
9 consecutive incomplete passes for the Houston Oilers. 3rd down and 10 from the 39. Peace gets it out here in the flat to Rozier. Makes a good move. Rozier getting down close to the first down. He fumbles. It's picked up by Bruce Matthews. Now let's see if they're going to call it down back at the 36 or back at the 32.
Well, in the last 2 minutes of a half, only the player who fumbles the ball can either move it or recover it. So this ball will be spotted right where Rozier fumbled it. Watch it again here now. Peace is trying to take advantage of that rush. He has Rozier out here. Good block right there by Jay Pennison, number 52. Rozier carrying the ball like a loaf of bread, fumbles it. Now no one can advance this ball but the fumbling player during the last 2 minutes of a half. And it wasn't enough for a first down, Jason.
No, it was not enough for the first down, and they send out Tony Zendejas. Zendejas, who missed a 37-yarder at 6:33 of the first quarter. Again, the rookie Greg Montgomery will hold. It's going to be a 50-yard attempt.
And if he doesn't make this, you're going to think his name is Luke.
It's long enough. It's wide to the right. Listen to this crowd.
No, his name is not Lou. They are booing, and I can't believe it because Tony Zendejas is an outstanding kicker. Has been that way for this club for a while. He's going through a tough time right now. The most important thing to a place kicker, they'll tell you, is his holder. This is a new holder. Lee Johnson was his holder last year. Gossett was his holder after that. They traded Gossett to the Raiders when Montgomery won the punting job, and now they're suffering through some growing pains with Montgomery as the holder, but I promise you he wouldn't use that as an excuse.
Zendejas is 0 for 2. On the other side of the ledger, Lowry is 2 for 2, and it is 6-0 Chiefs. 24 seconds left in this first half.
But let's say this too. The Chiefs are playing outstanding transition defense. When they are under pressure, their defense has shut the Houston Oilers down.
Palmer gets the call, and he reaches the 35-yard line, and now there's some shoving and battling down there, a little extracurricular activity. Coming up at halftime, of course.
That's Doug Smith there, number 99, getting involved with that fray. He said, be sure and let everybody know that all of my family is here. He has 7 brothers and 7 sisters, and he had to pay for them all coming to the stadium today.
Coming up at halftime, all the gang with NFL Live updating you on the activities. And this is a doubleheader Sunday, of course. Len and Paul and Gail and Frank will be with you. Bob Costas will return, of course, for World Series coverage and football coverage next weekend. Bob, who did a splendid job along with our old friend Bryant Gumbel and all the gang in Seoul. And there's Frank Gans. Frank became an assistant at the Air Force in '64. It was the first of 13 coaching jobs that he would have before he became the head coach of Kansas City. The gentleman, a bit of an insurrection when he finally got the job, as Makovic was deposed as the head man. Gans' record 5-14-1 coming into today. He has cut down the length of his practices a little bit this past week.
Yeah, looking for a brisker pace. Instead of practicing an hour and a half on Saturdays, they practice 45 minutes. I never practiced more than 20 minutes. That was during the week.
Yeah, well, I know, but I won't comment on that. 2nd and 9, DeBerg going long, and it is incomplete at the 23-yard line. Stephon Page, the intended receiver. Patrick Allen had the coverage. So we come to the end of the first half here in the Astrodome. The 2 field goals from the toe of Nick Lowry, the couple of misses by Zendejas. Kansas City leading it 6-0. NFL Live halftime activities continue in a moment, right after these messages from your local station. Kansas City leading Houston 6-0 here in the Astrodome. And it's time for us to check in with Len Berman. And we'll be doing that in just a moment. Sending you to New York and Lenny Berman. You're watching Southern University right now.
And welcome back. Len Berman with Paul McGuire. The quarterback carnage continues. As you know, watching the Houston game, Cody Carlson is out with a fractured right thumb, and Alan Pinkett, who hasn't played quarterback since high school, right now, the running back, is the backup quarterback to Brent Peace, who's having a terrible afternoon. So 5 more quarterbacks are out. Big news in baseball. National League President Bart Giamatti has just suspended Dodger pitcher Jay Howell for 3 days for the pine tar incident yesterday at Shea Stadium. 3 days, not games. So I guess if these games should be rained out, he could play. So he's suspended for days. Right now, if the games look to be played, Howell would be eligible for Game 7 in Los Angeles. Now, the scores and highlights. It's been a wild afternoon around the National Football League. The Cincinnati Bengals doing everything you can do wrong, and they lead by 7 points, 19-12 late second quarter. Sam Weiss had a lot to be concerned about because his team looked terrible early in the first quarter. In fact, Boomer Esiason tripped over his offensive lineman, Anthony Munoz. That was 2 points for the Jets. And the Jets took a 9-0 lead in the game after recovering a fumble, but then Esiason cranked it up. Here he goes, deep. Touchdown pass to Eddie Brown. He connected with Brown a couple of times. This one, 61 yards. The Jets still led 9-6. Bengals had a blocked field goal. They botched 2 extra points and then had a replay controversy that called a touchdown back, but this happened right after that. Another one to Eddie Brown, so he connected on that touchdown as well, so he's hot.
This is the sign of a great football team or a good football team. When you're down by 9 points and you're making all the mistakes that the Cincinnati Bengals are making and then come back to take the lead, it shows you the caliber of football team that Sam Weiss has at Cincinnati.
And how many, you want to play quarterback in Cleveland? They're now down to their 4th stringer. It's at halftime. Seattle leading Cleveland 13-7, but now Pagel is out as Kozar and Danielson were before him. Kozar is just scratching his head. They're now down to number 4, Don Strock. Second quarter, Cleveland. Matt Barr had it blocked by Jeff Bryan of Seattle. Paul Moyer scooped it up and ran all the way to the 20. Guess who makes the tackle? The quarterback, Mike Pagel, and you got it, injured himself on the play. So Pagel knocked out of the game, one of the 5 quarterbacks we mentioned who are gone thus far, and we've only reached halftime of the first game of the doubleheader today. Indianapolis and Buffalo, the Colts quarterback is out. Chris Chandler with a bruised sternum. Hogaboom has replaced him there, as Chandler now has to watch from the sidelines. That happened early. His replacement, Hogaboom, well, he got him going. This is 39 yards to Clarence Verdun. They took a 17-0 lead as they approach halftime, 17-7, Indianapolis at Buffalo. At halftime in Houston, where, as we mentioned, as you know, Cody Carlson knocked out in the game you're watching, 6-0, Kansas City over Houston, that game at half. New England and Green Bay, Doug Flutie did make 2 tackles, but he also threw 2 interceptions. 17-3, Green Bay leading the Patriots at halftime. And Doug Flutie, well, they're excited about what he did last week, but the play he beat the Colts on was a naked bootleg, and Don Mikowski says, hey, I could do that. There he goes. Green Bay quarterback is good, and the Packers took the lead, and they have it now. Chicago and Detroit, both quarterbacks, McMahon and Long, knocked out in this one, but the Bears are leading at 17-0 this game in the second quarter. Tom Zach is in, as is Rusty Hilger for the Lions. The Rams, they're beating up on the Atlanta Falcons. The game's at halftime. It's 27-0 Rams. How easy is it to rush against the Falcon defense? Well, Greg Bell went for 110 yards in the first quarter alone for the Rams. And Washington, big over Dallas, 28-10. That game's at halftime as well. Good afternoon from Mark Rippon. That's it for now from New York. More coming up after these words from your local station.
And welcome back. Our NFL halftime continues. We are joined, as always, by Frank DeFord. And both Frank and I just coming back from Korea. The Olympics, of course, a tremendous emotional spectacle. And you come back and you take a look at the NFL and feel maybe a little bit of that emotion is gone these days.
No, these are hard times for pro football, Gail. You see, we all root for our favorite team to win. But let's face it, what makes it being a fan even more fun is cheering against some team you hate. And in this regard, the NFL had it made for years because there wasn't a personality type, there wasn't a human being in all the world who didn't despise either the Raiders or the Cowboys, one or the other. The Raiders were the rogues who threw spitballs in class and wouldn't eat their vegetables. The Cowboys were the little darlings who cleaned their plates and picked up their rooms. You naturally cheer for your home team, but which team you hated, either the Cowboys or the Raiders, depended on who you were and what you stood for. That was much deeper, much more revealing about what sort of a person you were. The Cowboys appealed to the super organized, the reliable, the organization men, Tex Schramm and Tom Landry and Gil Brandt and his trusty computer. The Cowboys wore neatsy little silver stars and were led by Roger Staubach, a God-fearing military man. No other team in the world, and certainly not the Raiders, could have invented the cheerleaders. Only the Dallas Cowboys could have made raw sex sweet. Meanwhile, the Raiders took in outcasts and scoundrels. Al Davis, the ultimate loner. Us against them, the Raiders dressed like pirates and were led by Ken Stabler, a raucous reprobate, left-handed, and the Snake. But above all, the Raiders and Cowboys both always won. That was crucial for us. You can't work up any hate for bums. Who cares about the Falcons or Buccaneers? You might as well root against the homeless. But now, sadly, the Cowboys and Raiders are stiffs. They're both coming off losing seasons, and they're losing again in '88. God help us, this is a threat to our national psyche, our emotional well-being. So in this election year, let us all come together and cheer for the Cowboys and Raiders. Pray that once again they can be winners, so that then each of us can be healthy Americans once more. Pick the Raiders or the Cowboys and cheer against them.
I have to tell you that if you had asked me the question, which two teams did you personally root against through most of your life, I would have said the Cowboys and the Raiders, absolutely. Especially in the late 70s, when the Cowboys were goody two-shoes, as you said, and the Raiders, the Jack Tatum-Darryl Stingley incident always symbolized for me the Oakland Raiders of that time, unfortunately so. But I have a feeling, Frank, that the ability to dislike, to be motivated by hatred in some way, is not there in a lot of our sports these days.
Well, I think that villains have disappeared altogether. I think we even saw it in the Olympics. People didn't get worked up against the Russians nearly as much as they used to. You don't see it in baseball so much anymore. People hate George Steinbrenner, but I don't think the antagonism against the Yankees is there the way that it used to be. And I see you in that nice green outfit, and it reminds me of the Boston Celtics. And people used to hate the Boston Celtics when Red Auerbach had the big cigar. But I mean, who could hate people like Casey Jones? It's not true anymore.
Why do you think that's changed?
Oh, I think as a general rule, television has smoothed things out, and perhaps the whole society has gone that way. I don't think we have as many heroes as we used to. Remember, Jack Nicklaus was a villain once upon a time when he came in against Palmer, and not so much anymore. Jim McMahon might try to be a villain, but he comes off more as just a rascal. I guess our emotions are just not as strong as they used to be.
I guess not. But here's to perhaps some future villains. At any rate, Frank, thank you so much. And NFL coverage continues.
Back here in the Dome, Kansas City leading 6-0, and a marvelous halftime show by Southern University of Houston here and their Ocean of Soul. It's the voice of Barbara Tucker. She's something. A big hand for this wonderful musical organization as they have entertained the folks here in the Astrodome. And every once in a while I get a letter from somebody that says, how come you don't show the halftime shows anymore? Well,
we don't have TSU often.
No, that's right. They put on some show here in the Dome, and really great musical organization. Well, we are at halftime, and we hope you're enjoying the National Football League action on this doubleheader day. Jay Randolph along with Reggie Rucker. And only 6 points scored, but rather interesting first half it was, really, considering all of the action we had. Carlson going out. Peace really not having any idea at the moment about his offense. I'm sure they're working with him at halftime, trying to make some adjustments. He certainly had a lot of people who were in the clear.
Well, what are the odds that you lose your first quarterback and then you lose your second quarterback and now you're down to your third quarterback? That has happened already in Cleveland. And as Lynn Berman was saying at halftime, you know, the carnage of the NFL quarterback continues. And, you know, you wonder what happens now if Peace gets in trouble. We're told that Carlson would come back, but I don't know how effectively he could be with a dislocated thumb, but he probably would be just as effective as Peace is.
or as Pickett would be, who hasn't played quarterback since he was in high school, before he went to school at Notre Dame. On the other hand, let's give kudos to Kansas City.
Yes.
This is a team that has reacted well. This is not an easy place to play, the Dome. At the new magic carpet, it's nicer than the old one. But it's always tough to come in here and play in rather an antiseptic atmosphere. It's hard to get yourself going in this building, and the Chiefs have done a very nice job. They had trouble controlling the Houston club in that first drive when they drove down the field and ran the ball so well, but they made their adjustments and did an excellent job. and DeBerg has hung in there, although he's had some pressure.
Well, the Chiefs are a football team that feel they are still in the race in the AFC West. You take a look at the first half stats here. The rushing yards for the Oilers, 89, pretty dominant over there. And, of course, just the reverse for the Chiefs. They've been able to pass the football and have not been able to run it. The turnovers are 2 apiece. And as you can see by the statistics, it's a relatively evenly matched football game, probably a game which will be dictated by the number of turnovers in the second half.
And, Reggie, we ought to mention, of course, that Kansas City will be getting a fellow named Jackson back. And next Sunday, Kansas City playing the Raiders at Arrowhead. That game is very near a sellout. Great rivalry. And Miami at the Raiders today. Now there is where the old $1 million scoreboard used to be here in the Dome, and they've torn it out of here. Remember, it had the snorting bull and the firecrackers and everything else, and Mr. Hoffines, Judge Hoffines' apartment was up in there. That's going to be 10,000 new seats here in the Dome that will get them up to 60,500 when this $50 million renovation is completed here. This, of course, the building that changed the world of baseball, and
I can only say that the architects of this building had great vision, Jay, back in 1960, whatever it was.
Mid-60s.
Yeah, when they built this facility, because if you look around, there are great seats everywhere, and I tell you, this is still a very breathtaking place when you come through the doors.
Well, you see the Oilers huddling up and trying to get set to go into this second half and see if they can turn it around. They are down 6-0. The final words regarding Carlson is that he does have the chip fracture in the right thumb. He could return in an emergency situation. But it will be Peace who will be at quarterback.
If the Oilers think that they're going to be able to win this football game with Peace at quarterback, they've got to get something going with him. They have got to give him some plays where he can complete some passes, whether they're short passes, whether they're swing passes to backs out of the backfield, whatever it is, he needs to build some confidence. And you do that by getting him some safe plays and getting him some success early in the second half.
The Oilers, after years of drafting highly touted collegians, finally hitting pay dirt last season, reaching the second round of the playoffs. And of course, this Houston club has high hopes, and they're just trying to hang in until they can get Moon back.
On the other hand, Kansas City is going to have to get some running going here.
This kickoff sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers, and it is Tony Zendejas who will put it in play. Paul Palmer, and look out, he was almost out of there. It'll come to the 20-yard line.
He came within a half of an inch of stepping on that end zone line. And of course, had he done that, he would have had to bring the football out of the end zone.
Well, the Oiler defensive unit, one of the players out there trying to whoop things up a little bit, Ray Childers, number 79, brought a towel out with him and started waving it. And they're trying to get the fans behind them here. Steve DeBerg, 9 out of 14, 103 yards, the one interception in the first half. And banging up the middle is Palmer. There's a penalty flag on the field. Palmer hit by Robert Lyles, number 93. Let's see if there was holding detected. That would be a guess. Yep.
Offense, number 59. Holding. Offense, 59, holding.
59, I don't think there is a 59. He's talking about Tom Ball, number 58.
Yeah.
But whenever you see that umpire throw a flag, he's the guy that sits right behind the linebackers on defense. Whenever you see him throw a yellow flag, more often than not, it is holding on a member of the offensive line. There's Tom Ball, who got caught holding.
And they've got the crowd into the game here. Herman Hurd is in the backfield, 44 with Moriarty, 32. DeBerg has time over the middle, and it is complete out at the 15-yard line to the tight end, Alfredo Roberts, excuse me. This is a good-looking rookie out of the University of Miami. Johnny Meads, 91 on the tackle. Not enough for the first down.
Roberts, 6'3", 250 pounds. Impressed Chiefs with his blocking ability. Came from the University of Miami.
He limps off, and Jonathan Hayes takes over, number 85. Like he injured his hand.
They were actually looking forward to big things from number 85, Jonathan Hayes, but Hayes mysteriously lost the position. Hayes is a much better pass receiver in the ball game right now.
Second down and 14. And the pass here to the near sideline is incomplete, intended for Stephon Page. Patrick Allen, 29, had the coverage, and that's Page down along the sideline. Page being attended to.
When you get those wide receivers up in the air, it is the most vulnerable position for a wide receiver because he is out of control and he literally is at the mercy of the defensive back.
Kittrick Taylor, 82, is in the lineup. DeBerg in the shotgun. Third down and 14. Over the middle to Hurd. And Hurd goes down at the 26-yard line, short of the first down. Ray Childers, 79, and John Grimsley, 59. Punting time for Kansas City.
It appeared to me that the Oilers, Jay, tried to make a statement with that first series. They were very aggressive. They were coming from everywhere, and they did a good job of stopping Kansas City right now, and they're going to get pretty good field position after the Goodburn punt.
Kelly Goodburn, a man from Cherokee, Iowa. They look like they're going to try to block it.
They're coming.
Kenny Johnson's downfield. He got it away. Johnson taking it at the 36. And he got a yard or two, and now a penalty marker's thrown, and another set of penalty markers are thrown upfield. Angelo Snipes, number 52, was down to make the play, and we'll see what they're going to call here after the 42-yard punt. A lot of penalties in this game. Referee today, Fred Silva.
On the run back, number 24, illegal block in the back, above the waist. It's 10 yards, but it'll be a first down.
So the call going against Steve Brown, number 24, cornerback. It'll put the ball back at the 27-yard line. And Houston will take over with Brent Peace at quarterback. There's Brown.
The real fine cornerbacks in this game. Plays that left corner for Houston.
Rozier and Highsmith in the backfield. That's the tight end Williams in motion. Rozier, running room. Rozier, close to the first down. Might have gotten it. Deron Cherry, number 20, makes the stop on the former Nebraska All-American.
They're playing with a much firmer resolve right now. You watch number 30 come right back up the gut, right at you, running very hard, breaks a tackle right there. Once again, that's the malady that beset the Chiefs a week ago, missing tackles.
First down for Houston. They operate at their 38-yard line. And the handoff goes to Pinkett. Pinkett gets about 6 or 7, crossing the 45. Cofield, 54 on the tackle. Cincinnati's got the lead over the Jets. Seattle over Cleveland. Buffalo has scored against Indianapolis in the third. Green Bay looking good. So's Chicago. The Rams are doing it to Atlanta. Tampa Bay leading Minnesota 10-7. And Washington leading Dallas. Rozier 54 yards on 10 carries now. It's going to be second down and 3. Pinkett has 16 yards on 4 carries. And it is Rozier for the first down. He got to the 49-yard line.
One of the reasons why they're having so much success right now, not only is the offensive line playing very well, Jay, but number 32, Alonzo Highsmith. Amongst all the other things that he can do, number 32, Highsmith, may be one of the finest blocking backs we've seen in the National Football League in a long time. Watch number 32. He lays people out.
He's been a little out of sync on offense, but today he seems to be very mindful of his job, especially in that blocking area, as you mentioned. They got the first down. Here's the pitch. Pinkett. And Pinkett to the 46-yard line. Lewis Cooper, 55, the left outside linebacker, making the stop.
Talking about Highsmith, watch number 32. His job now is to give the running back room to run. He takes on, you can't see the number, it looks like Lloyd Barris, number 34, and of course Pinkett cuts up right behind that block. That's a good read of the block, and once again, good work by number 32, Alonzo Highsmith.
2nd down and 6. It's Rozier and Highsmith in the backfield now as Pinkett has come out. Kansas City leading 6-0, early moments of the 3rd quarter. A little delay in the give to Rozier and not much there. Maybe got a yard. The tackle made by Aaron Pearson, number 96. Pearson, out of Mississippi State, has shown continual improvement at the left inside linebacker spot. He's not very tall, just 6 feet and 240. 11th round draft pick in '86, and he's coming off now.
The Oilers are alternating halfbacks between Rozier and Pinkett. Pinkett, of course, is much more of a threat with the pass out of the backfield. As a matter of fact, he has taken two already this year for touchdowns. So he's a man that the Oilers will be looking for 3rd down out of the backfield.
Pinkett back in there. Houston 0 for 6 in 3rd down situations. Peace throws back against the grain. It is complete to Drew Hill. 1st down at the 32-yard line. Penalty marker down. Offensive pass interference against Houston.
Houston is just self-destructing with the penalties.
Pass interference, number 85, offense.
Boy, that's
10 yards.
That is 2
down.
big penalties on number 85, Drew Hill. One brought back the touchdown in the 1st half to Ernest Gibbons, and this one negating an apparent 1st down by the Houston Oilers. This is a veteran player. You don't expect Drew Hill to have this kind of lack of concentration.
More receiving yards the last 3 seasons than any other player in pro football except for Jerry Rice.
Well, it had to be a push-off initially coming off the ball because I didn't see anything as Hill came across the field.
3rd down, 14. Piece down the middle, and it's intercepted. Coming back with it, Deron Cherry. His 39th career interception, his 5th of this season. Intended receiver Drew Hill, Deron Cherry.
Make that the incomparable Deron Cherry. This man plays this position as well as anybody as I've ever seen play this game. He is always watching the quarterback. He is always in the right place. And when you need a big play defensively, it is Cherry that usually gives it to you.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By First Brands Corporation, makers of Prestone Advanced Formula Antifreeze, STP oil treatment, and new STP Supra Wear Control. And by Coors Light. There's no slowing down with a silver bullet. It's the right beer now.
A pass intended for number 88, Carlos Carson, is incomplete as DeBerg was trying to get a lot of yardage. That interception short time ago by Deron Cherry, as we mentioned, the 39th in his career, ties him for 3rd on the all-time list with Gary Barbaro at 39.
5 straight times American Football Conference Pro Bowl.
Let's see, it would be Robinson, I guess, and Emmett Thomas in front of him. For Kansas City, they've had some great defensive backs. 2nd down and 10. Look out. That was Johnny Meads, the right side linebacker, unattended for the blitz. And the sack.
This is the play that has been taking out a lot of quarterbacks. The blindside blitz. Watch number 91 right of your screen. DeBerg never sees him. Fortunately, Meads is only interested in taking down DeBerg rather than taking off his head.
4th sack of the season for Meads, who's congratulated along the sideline.
The other thing I was going to say, Jay, is I wouldn't want to play in this game. The quarterbacks are throwing too many high passes to receivers coming over the middle.
Houston into a prevent defense, but they're showing some blitz also on 3rd down and 20 from the 27. Penalty markers down. There was movement at the line of scrimmage
by the offense. Now that's the second time the Oilers gave them that look, and you put people in the gaps, and they're just...
Before the snap, number 72. He'll be 3rd down.
David Lutz. Lutz, of course, is playing at left guard only for the 2nd time. He's been a starter.
Here's Lutz, number 72. You saw him move back on the left foot there, but there's something just unusual when you have people standing up over you. You know they're coming, and you want to get there in time to protect your quarterback, and, of course, that's what usually happens.
Lutz having to play guard because of the injuries to Addix and Josiak. They're both due to possibly come back next week. Herman Hurd up the sideline, knocked out of bounds near the 35-yard line. Donaldson 31, Johnson 22 ran him out.
You mind if I tell the people finally what it was I was trying to tell them about why it's a good reason to... Now, this is a good example of the new rule in 1988, which if you run into the kicker, you no longer get an automatic first down. All you get is a 5-yard...
And it is going to be picked up down there and taken out of bounds at the 37-yard line by Kenny Jackson. We'll let you develop that a little more when we come back right after this. Lamar Hunt, the man that founded the American Football League, sitting in and watching. Jack Stedman, general manager, of course, of the Chiefs, down in front of him. They have been involved a long, long time. Stedman, actually the Chiefs president. General manager Jim Schaaf. This pass is complete to Highsmith, and he's close to a first down at the 46-yard line. And they're not going to call this one back for a penalty. Hackett, 56, made the stop. And is he all right? Hackett's hurting. Hackett is hurting. And he's going to hang in there. He's a tough nut, this Hackett.
Hangs out a lot with Bill Moss. Roommates.
Tough duo, huh?
Heart and soul of that Chiefs defense. They give them great strength right down the middle.
2nd down and 2. Rozier has the first down at midfield, brought down by Aaron Pearson. Now tell me again about this punting situation.
Well, obviously, if it's 4th down and 6 yards or more, you want to go after the punt in 1988, because if you run into the kicker, you only get 5 yards, and it's not an automatic first down. That's why you see so many teams going after punts this year, and you see so many punts blocked. We had one in this ball game already.
Brent Peace, out of the University of Montana, thrust into the breach here today with the injury to Carlson. Penalty marker down. He might have a free throw. Tight end Williams. He's got a first down if the play stands.
Jamie Williams, Spider-Man they call him. Look at the hair. Look at the hair on Jamie Williams. He's had more hairstyles than Brian Bosworth. Believe me, folks. Guy's a good football player. Outstanding blocker. Look at that, the dreadlock look. I wish he would take that off. Look
Penalty
at that,
goes against Kansas
Defense,
City.
number 99.
Mike Bell was offside.
Decline to 2nd down.
Oh, it's going to be 2nd down in inches. Ball just placed inside the 40-yard line.
It's a miracle with all the knee injuries that Mike Bell has had that he's still out there playing, and playing well.
Bell, who had 6.5 sacks last year, very aggressive. Rozier down to the 35-yard line. Bill Moss, number 63, on the tackle. They've got the first down. We have 6 minutes left to play in the 3rd period. Cincinnati now has taken a 7-point lead over the Jets. Seattle's over Cleveland. Buffalo coming back against Indianapolis. Look at the Rams, 33-0. Green Bay looks like they're going to get a victory. Washington in control of Dallas. Minnesota leading Tampa Bay. Rozier now has 71 yards on 14 carries.
And they don't want Peace throwing the football, and this is virtually a professional wishbone.
And they fake the reverse. Pinkett keeps and doesn't get anything. Stensrud, 67, made the play. Well, let's check in with New York right now and get an update from Gail Sarens.
Gail Gardner, actually. Jay, in Buffalo, the Bills coming back against the Colts. Jim Kelly added a shotgun. He goes 16 yards to Andre Reed, who beats Willie Tullis, cuts the Colts lead to 17-14. Let's go back to Jay and Reggie in Houston.
Well, we had half of the name right. All right, Gail Gardner.
Sorry, Gail.
The redhead. Oh, we had a good time over in Seoul. Didn't she do a super job? And I don't know, I guess Gail Sarens maybe took an afternoon off.
I go back to Boston with Gail.
Yeah.
That's June Jones, the quarterback coach, talking to Brent Peace. They can't wait to get Warren Moon back. Speaking of Warren Moon.
Moon, when he's in there, to quote his coach, Jerry Glanville, gives them the wildest offensive possibilities in the National Football League.
Warren Moon can do so much with that right arm of his, and the thing that he does better than anybody else is that when receivers come out of their break, they want the football just as they're coming out of it. They don't want to get into their break and then have the quarterback throw the football, because defensive backs are so quick to recover, they can knock passes down or prevent a receiver from making yardage. Warren Moon is one of the best at timing the pass just as the receiver comes out of his break.
Houston on the road at Pittsburgh next Sunday. The Steelers playing at Phoenix today. Then at Cincinnati on the 23rd. So 2 tough road games coming up for Houston, and they would like nothing better than to have the Moon Man back in action.
Ask Drew Hill and Ernest Gibbons.
Ball just inside the 35. As we remind you about next Sunday's action, check your local listings. 2nd and 9. Rozier cutting back in, gets to the 31-yard line. Again, it's Dino Hackett, 56, who's done an excellent job throughout this afternoon. And as we mentioned, he's hurting, and he's going to come out of there now.
Now, if you noticed,
Mr. Hackett is quoted. He's tough. And the ball at the 31-yard line. 3rd and 6. Peace out of the shotgun. Throwing, and look out. A lot of bumping. There goes the flag. Curtis Duncan and Sidney Johnson, number 45, were banging and banging down that side.
The question is, there was so much contact, I'm not sure who it's going against. Watch the left side of your screen as Peace throws the football out.
Number 45, defensive pass
Sidney
interference.
Johnson is going to be called for defensive pass interference, and he really had both hands.
Yeah, it looked like a good call.
Duncan, yes.
It's going to put the ball at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal to go for Houston. Here it is again, and you can see he's all over him there.
I think what happened to Johnson, that he got caught not knowing where the football was and decided he better put his hands on that receiver rather than gamble with him catching a touchdown pass.
Rozier 30, Highsmith 32 in the backfield. Hill set to the right side. Rozier inside the 5, down to the 3. Deron Cherry on the tackle, number 20. 2nd and goal to go.
Watch number 32, Lee blocking Highsmith, and number 30, Rozier, following right behind Highsmith. Boy, Highsmith really is clearing out the whole center of that linebacking area, and Rozier followed him. If they continue to block that way, I think they ought to just give the football right back to Rozier again, or it'll be Pinkett this time.
Chiefs leading 6-0. Houston knocking at the door. Pinkett and Highsmith now in the backfield. Handoff going to Highsmith. Touchdown. Penalty marker down. Penalty marker down. They called one back already, and they're going to call this one back. Illegal procedure against the Houston Oilers. That's the second touchdown this afternoon they've had called back.
5 yards. Still second down.
Mike Munchak, number 63, the all-pro guard of the Houston Oilers on the left side, moved a fraction too soon as he was trying to get out around the corner to pull and lead block for Alonzo Highsmith. Munchak, one of the best in the business.
9 penalties, 70 yards, and a couple of real crushers against Houston.
On the right there, you see it, number 63, coming down, moving too soon. Boy,
second down and goal to go at the 7. Williams, the tight end, coming to the right side. And look out. Timeout call. We've got 3:28 left to play in this third quarter. Peace is going to go over and talk things over. Kansas City still leads 6-0. With Reggie Rucker, Jay Randolph in the Astrodome. Here comes Houston facing second down and 7 at the 7-yard line. We're late in the third quarter. Chiefs lead 6-0. Rozier and Highsmith are in the backfield. That's Rozier. Rozier down to the 4. And it'll bring up 3rd and goal.
You know, it has to be frustrating for Houston, who leads the league in penalties. Take another look at Rozier following Highsmith. This has been their favorite play, and it's not such a big gain at this time. But the thing that's frustrating for Houston is that you don't mind leading the league in penalties if they're aggression penalties, but the penalties that have seen the Oilers have 2 touchdowns called back are just lack of concentration.
Pinkett is in there for Rozier now. Deron Cherry made that last stop. They're 0 for 7 on third down situations are the Houston Oilers, and Peace wants a timeout.
Oh, my.
He's wasted 2 timeouts here, one because the clock was about to run out on him, and now because he didn't like what he saw, and that could hurt them in the last few minutes of this football game if they've got a chance to win it.
Certainly, with this game being as close as it is, I mean, this thing may be determined by the team that has the ball last, and obviously you need your timeouts in the last 2 minutes of any football game.
You see Silva speaking to Jerry Glanville saying, "You're out of timeouts."
Man.
And we still have a whole quarter to play. Williams coming over there, dwarfing his coach.
Williams, number 87, just had a special on one of the cable networks of his Spider-Man series. He's quite a character.
Brent Peace, 6'2", 204, his second year of professional football out of Montana.
Replacement player, did very well last year during the replacement games for Houston.
Biggest play of the game for them. Going wide to the left is Duncan. Hill is set to the right side. Pinkett and Highsmith behind Peace. 3rd and goal. And rolling, and Peace is in for the touchdown. Been a frustrating day for Peace, but this makes up for it.
And what's that saying? Every dog has his day. Well, this day isn't over, but for Brent Peace, this is very satisfying. I can assure you, much of what has gone on for the Houston Oilers has been a result of the inexperience of Brent Peace, but that time, his quickness and his youthfulness got him a touchdown.
Kens and Dejas give them the lead.
We'll see.
Penalty markers are down. Penalty markers down. The kick was good. Let's get the indication. Some of the Chiefs counting there like maybe they had too many men on the field.
Point after touchdown was good. We have 12 men.
12 men on the field
defense.
for Kansas City.
That'll
be assessed on the kickoff.
5 yards.
Peace has scored his second career touchdown, and Zendejas has given Houston the lead.
Well, they've been running that play time and time again, and that time it was a fake off of it. The defense went right. Peace got inside, scored a touchdown. He's a happy fellow.
Celebrating here in the Dome. Their Oilers have the lead. 9 plays, 63 yards. Peace scoring from 4 yards out. Zendejas ready to put the ball in play. Palmer, the deep man for Kansas City. Oilers lead for the first time. 2:42 left, third quarter. Palmer, he'll down it.
The reason why they've had Paul Palmer back there, they wanted to get more explosion on that kick return unit, and Palmer is a guy who has been able to run a couple back for touchdown in his rookie year. 9 plays, 63 yards. Of course, Peace with the 4-yard run. Let's see what effect on Houston's defense does the offense give them by taking the lead.
DeBerg brings out the Chiefs. Moriarty and Palmer in the backfield. That was Palmer. Childress 79 and Bostic 25 on the tackle, along with Al Smith. And a pickup of about 1 or 2. Let's call it 1 to the 21-yard line.
The player we haven't heard from that I think DeBerg needs to look for is Carlos Carson. Carson is the big play receiver. He's the guy that can get you rich in a hurry. You have to look for him. You've got to create some plays for him. And I think DeBerg, if he wants to get back into the ball game or get the lead back, he needs to look for Carlos Carson.
On second down, Palmer was going in motion, and the throw is intercepted. Penalty marker is down. Jeff Donaldson comes away. It'll be his 7th career interception if it stands. Pass intended for Carson. You had the right idea, Reggie, but now let's see what the flag is on the far side.
I'll tell you, to me, it looked like they were mugging Carlos Carson. I think they had too much contact with him. I think the Houston team had contact way beyond the 5-yard line of scrimmage.
Steve Brown was over there, the corner, number 24. Fred Silva and the crew walking away now and discussing it. They're getting together.
Well, this is a big play, obviously, in this ball game right now to get the ball right back to Houston once they've just scored. That's Paul Palmer in motion.
This ball might have been tipped by Fuller, number 95. Can't tell from there, but looked to me like it might have. They're still discussing it.
There's another look at it now. Right side of your screen, Carlos Carson is going deep down the right sideline.
I think we could see that time that it might have been deflected a little bit by Fuller.
It was a bad pass, though, Jay. The pass hung too high. It allowed Jeff Donaldson to get over there, and that shouldn't have been the case.
This does not involve a replay situation. They are just trying to sort it out. You see, the
replay would only be involved here if they thought Carson went out of bounds when he was hit on that sideline.
Well, of course, if that ball is tipped,
it's a free ball.
It's a free ball. And I think we saw that. Now, offensive pass interference.
No, it's defensive.
A defensive pass interference.
So it was not tipped.
No, I guess not. Let's listen.
Defensive pass interference called early before the ball was overthrown, so it holds first down.
Watch. It takes place about 5 yards prior to this activity right here when Steve Brown had his hands on Carlos Carson a little bit too far downfield. You can only maintain contact within the first 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. After that, you must release the receiver and not have contact again.
Jerry Glanville is some kind of hot. He is lecturing the head linesman. Penalties today have nullified a touchdown, an interception, 3 completions. They move the chains. Actually, they nullified 2 touchdowns. They got that one back. Here's the pitch. Moriarty down to the 47-yard line. Clock running with 1.5 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter. Al Smith, the tackle, number 54.
This game is as intense as they get. There's a lot of hard hitting, hard tackling, a lot of people pointing fingers. And in a football game like that, Larry Moriarty is a good man to have running the football because he can hang with the toughness.
We chatted it at the top of this broadcast. Talked about these 2 teams both needing a win here today. Both trying to find a personality, trying to gather themselves for what lies ahead in the NFL season. DeBerg over the middle. And, well, let's see if, no, it's incomplete. Incomplete pass. They're saying that Page never had possession. Jeff Donaldson, the free safety, on the hit. It was close, but they rule no possession.
Watch the vicious hit by number 31, Jeff Donaldson. He should catch this ball, Page. Look at the helmet right in the face of Stephon Page. How do you get up after that? Another look at it. DeBerg looking for Page all the way. He takes a shot, but that is nothing compared to what happened to Stephon Page.
That was Roy Childress, number 79 on DeBerg. Now it's 3rd down and a long 5 at the 48. KC is 1 for 4 on 3rd down situations this afternoon. DeBerg out of the gun. And the ball batted as it was intended for Emil Harry. Richard Johnson had the coverage, and it looked like Robert Lyles may have got a finger on it as he was trying to defend it, batting it here on the near side. So Kansas City will have Kelly Goodburn to do the punting. Now, it'll be Kenny Johnson back to receive.
I think you'll see the Houston back away from this because they don't want to give a 1st down.
Well, they almost blocked it again. And it's going to go out of bounds. No, it didn't go out of bounds. It was picked up by Kenny Johnson.
Well, that was risky.
It was. That ball hit right along the sideline. He picked it up and got about 10 yards. And the Oilers are going to have the football with 41 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter.
That's what you need. Number 22, Kenny Johnson, is a player with a lot of nerve fielding those punts.
Cincinnati now up by 7 in the 3rd period. Seattle in good shape. Buffalo has come back to take the lead over Indianapolis. Green Bay, Chicago, and L.A. in good shape. Washington up by 18. 29-yard punt. And Brent Peace, who has the only touchdown of this game, calling signals for the Oilers. The pitch comes to Highsmith. Highsmith at the 30-yard line, pickup of 2. Mike Stensrud, number 67.
Stensrud's been pretty active in there today. He's
really
played a pretty good ball game. He's been getting across the line of scrimmage, getting away from blocks. Of course, Stensrud used to start for the Houston Oilers a few years ago.
And he was with Tampa Bay, and Kansas City talked him into coming back and has kind of resurrected him, so to speak.
I like his quickness. He's really getting across the line of scrimmage into that backfield. And if you want to disrupt a running attack, get into the backfield, get some penetration, and you'll stop those people from making a lot of yards on you.
We come to the end of the 3rd quarter. Kansas City and Houston in the Dandy, right back after this from your local station. Donnybrook in the Dome, we might call it. This is going to be an interesting 4th period coming up.
Certainly is, and I want to ask those folks in Missouri, does anybody know this man in Missouri?
I hope so. I'm not running for anything but the city limits, though. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
All right, we go to the 4th period here with Houston up 7-6. Peace hands off to Rozier. Rozier bangs his way across the 37-yard line. Rozier started the day with 227 yards, and he's done a yeoman job. Cofield, 54 on the tackle through 3 quarters of play.
Okay, yards rushing. The Oilers are trying to win this football game on the ground, and the Chiefs are trying to win it through the air. We've got pretty much of a deadlock ball game. And as you know, the Oilers do not want Brent Peace throwing the football. The passes that he has thrown and have been successful with have been a couple of passes out of the backfield to the backs, and maybe those are the short variety. But basically, they want to run the football right at Kansas City.
3rd down and 1 at the 37-yard line. And a first down for Mike Rozier out to the 43-yard line. Aaron Pearson, number 96, making the stop for Kansas City. Houston with a record of 9-6 in '87. Along with the Chiefs, one of the 6 original AFL teams founded by Lamar Hunt, who we showed you earlier. There were actually 8 teams that started play in the 1960 season. A couple added after the first 6 had made the deal to begin competition.
Nothing fancy here. Pinkett behind Alonzo Heisman.
Duncan going in motion. That's Pinkett. Tough going in there. Got maybe 2. Pinkett to the 45, where he's met by Kevin Ross, the man they call the Rock, out of Temple.
We haven't had a chance to talk much about these 2 cornerbacks for Kansas City. Ross, number 31, and Albert Lewis, number 29. Lewis, of course, is a Pro Bowler. Ross should be, but he doesn't get a lot of recognition because he plays against a man that people consider one of the pure defenders in all of professional football. But he is a tough player, a very good run forcer, and an excellent tackler.
2nd down and 8. Peace is going to put it up, and he does, and it's too high. He was intending down at the 47-yard line for his tight end, Jamie Williams, the 6-year man out of Nebraska, who has caught 3 passes for 22 yards so far this season, and Peace just too high with it.
They don't ask Jamie Williams to do much pass catching in this offense. They want him to run block, which he does very well. When Houston gets in obvious passing situations, they bring in their red gun offense, which is 4 wide receivers. Williams comes out, and that's an offense that hasn't been clicking like it has been under Warren Moon. As you'll see right here, Brent Peace has had all kinds of trouble throwing the football.
3rd down and 8. Oilers in the shotgun. Peace is throwing, and it is incomplete down at the 32-yard line. Intended for Willie Drury, the 4-year man out of West Virginia. Pass underthrown. Coverage back there by J.C. Pearson.
Drury had a couple of steps on J.C. Pearson, but the ball took too long getting to Drury. Drury is one of those small receivers, good quickness, runs good patterns. Had a lot of success out of that offense when Warren Moon was quarterbacking in the first game, but hasn't had the numbers since Moon has been out.
Montgomery ready to punt. Kittrick Taylor back to receive. Taylor coming over. It bounces in front of him and goes out of bounds at the 14-yard line. We've got a timeout after that 41-yard punt. We'll be back right after this.
Today's game is brought to you by Michelob. One taste will tell you why the night belongs to Michelob. By Mazda and the exciting new Mazda cars and trucks for 1989. And by Diet Coke. Enjoy Diet Coke. You're going to drink it just for the taste of it.
There they are. The Big Blue leading 7-6, and these fans trying to root on their defense right now. Kansas City 1st and 10 from the 14. DeBerg, play action, holds on, throws over the middle. Almost intercepted by John Grimsley. Oh, Grimsley came very, very close to really turning this game around. Childress, 79, was coming in on DeBerg. Pass intended for Hayes.
And John Grimsley stepped right in front of it. I think the problem with that was DeBerg running to his right, threw back across his body, didn't have the velocity on the football, and Grimsley was reading that pass, was in the right place, dodged the bullet there, the Kansas City Chiefs.
DeBerg has completed 2 of 7 for 17 yards in the second half.
Been total domination by Houston's defense. As a matter of fact, Kansas City has 15 total yards in this half.
DeBerg is audible here. He wants to go to the air to the far sideline. First down. It's Carlos Carson making the catch and getting it up to the 29. DeBerg audibling there and did a good job. It was Johnson, 23, on the tackle.
Unless Houston takes Carlos Carson away, you saw what happened the last 2 times they tried to get the football to him. He gives you a big play via the penalty, and there he makes a first down and off of a great catch. He is a player that you want to get the football. In tight situations like this, you don't think plays, you think players. You think big-time players like Carlos Carson.
First and 10 at the 29-yard line. Chiefs trying to come back. The pass is complete. That's Jonathan Hayes. Hayes, the 4-year man from Iowa. Caught 21 passes and had 3 touchdowns in 87, but now the rookie out of Miami, Roberts, playing in front of him most of the time. Grimsley, 59, Bostic, 25 on the tackle. Gain to the 36-yard line. Time remaining, 11 minutes, 15 seconds. Counting down, 4th quarter. Oilers lead 7-6. Kansas City had a 6-0 lead at halftime. 2 field goals by Lowry. This time it's Herman Hurd. And Hurd romps down the sideline. He's all the way down to the 47-yard line, and there's going to be a penalty tacked onto this as Hurd went out of bounds at the 47. Jeff Donaldson, number 31, came over, and they'll call it on him. Hayes with a good block for Kansas City to help spring the play.
See, this just doesn't make any sense to me why number 31, Jeff Donaldson, would do something like this. Watch Hurd. He is out of bounds. Watch the shot to the head. You cannot in this league go to a man's head. Anytime you do that, you're going to be given a 15-yard personal. I just don't like that.
17-yard run, tack on the penalty, put the ball down at the 33-yard line. And Kansas City getting very close to Lowry's range, of course. He's already kicked one over 50 yards here today. 51-yarder. Houston now penalized 106 yards, 11 penalties. That's Herman Hurd. Penalty marker goes down as Hurd is hit at the 36-yard line. Robert Lyles, 93, leading the way, and another flag thrown in there.
That's an interesting call. Take the loss or take the penalty. I think I'd take the loss. Make him second down from right there.
Well, of course, you've got to be continually aware that they don't need very much for Lowry.
And you know you got Lowry, but I don't know.
Well, let's see what they're going to do.
75 offense, illegal block, above the waist, in the back. It'll be 10 yards, still first down.
Herb Eatman out of UCLA calls with the infraction. Cincinnati leads the Jets. Seattle over Cleveland. Indianapolis back in the lead over Buffalo. Green Bay's in good shape, so's Chicago, and certainly the Rams are. 33 zip over Atlanta. Washington pouring it on Dallas. Minnesota by 1 over Tampa Bay.
Of course, the one thing you don't get here without the scoreboard anymore are the scores of games in progress. Of course, if Houstonians saw that Seattle-Cleveland score, I'm sure they'd let out a roar.
Kansas City, 8 penalties, 80 yards, 10:55 remaining in regulation time. Baldinger there.
I still would want second down from here. I wouldn't give a team first down all over again. It's too easy to pick that type of thing up. I'd want the downs rather than the yardage.
Frank Gans became an assistant head coach and special teams coach in '86 at Kansas City. Took over in January of '87. And it is first and 20 out at the 42 now. Wide receivers spread out for DeBerg. DeBerg throws on the run. Penalty marker goes down as it was Carlos Carson who made the catch and got it to the 27. Tackled by Donaldson, 31, and Allen, 29. And let's see what we've got. Penalty markers, 2 of them on the field. 1 back at the 50 and 1 down at the 35.
But DeBerg is now looking for Carlos Carson.
He took your suggestion.
I don't know whether he heard me or not, but I tried to get the football to this player as much as I could. I don't see what happens up in the line of scrimmage, but I see DeBerg. DeBerg has been down a lot.
Offensive pass interference, Kansas City, the initial indication. And holding also against Kansas City. So we had 2 calls going against the Chiefs. Now Fred Silva is sorting it out with his crew.
Number 77, offense holding, accepted. Number 88, offensive pass interference, declined. Still first down.
It was Carson charged for the pass interference. Rich Baldinger, 77. We've got a view of him right here.
Right side of the screen, number 77. He has his arms around the perimeter of the defensive man's frame. That is holding.
And that was Childress who was trying to get in there. DeBerg now yelling out to his troops. Maybe again changing the play at the line of scrimmage. He's got time. Now he's in trouble. Now he throws, intercepted. And that's Grimsley. Grimsley, who almost intercepted one a few moments ago, gets a second try and makes good. The top tackler for the Oilers, born in Canton, Ohio, the home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, out of Kentucky. Grimsley with a big turnaround.
Good pressure. DeBerg fakes right there. I think when he pumped the second time, it gave Grimsley an opportunity to come underneath Jonathan Hayes. This time, he maintains possession. As you know, he had an opportunity earlier in the third quarter to make an interception, and he didn't hold on to that one.
Ray Childress had a lot to do with that 79, putting the pressure on. It's going to be Houston's football at the 45-yard line of Kansas City. 9:57 to play in regulation. It's the Oilers 7, the Chiefs 6. Brent Peace. He's been in there ever since Cody Carlson went down with the injury to the right thumb. Tight end Williams going in motion. Rozier banging and banging close to a first down. He got to the 36. Deron Cherry, number 20, and Mike Stensrud, number 67.
Rozier.
Those two fellas have really played good football for Kansas City today. They make the stop.
Excuse me, Jay. Rozier has to be very close to 100 yards. I think he was 90-some on that last carry.
102 yards for Rozier. The ball down at the 37, where it'll be second down and 1. Clock running with 9:20 remaining. Rozier has the first down. Rozier really getting a workout this afternoon. Stensrud. Well, there might not be any more baseball back in Boston. Oakland has a 1-0 lead. Trying to sweep. Top of the third inning. Out in the Bay Area.
You watch Mike Rozier as he enters the line of scrimmage. He's got a good forward lean. He is running with a lot of power. And the Oilers are really giving these running backs the point of attack. You won't see a red shirt right at the hole.
On first down. Now Peace looks like he might have called an audible. Just did get the play away in time, and that's Highsmith. Highsmith got about 2. Trying to go in behind Matthews. He was stopped by Cofield, 54, and Stensrud again, 67. Boy, we've called his number this afternoon, and we've related the fact that the 10-year veteran out of Iowa State, who's been around and used to start here, as you mentioned, Reggie, has really played a good football game.
Well, they've had a lot of opportunities because Houston just wants to pound this football, and Houston doesn't do such a good job when Alonzo Highsmith is carrying the ball because Rozier and Pinkett aren't good blockers.
Certainly they don't rank with Highsmith.
No.
2nd and 8. Rozier to the outside. Rozier, first down. That is vintage Mike Rozier right there. Hackett, 56. Cherry, 20 on the tackle. And a first down at the 23.
And I can appreciate what Rozier is doing, but I'm really impressed with what Highsmith is doing because he is really clearing the way. As you take a look at the decided advantage in the running game for Houston. Houston knew coming in, whether it was Carlson or Peace quarterbacking, that they needed to run the football, not only because they do it real well, but Kansas City is one of the worst teams against the run in the National Football League.
And this defense has been on the field a long time in the second half. And that's Rozier banging down. Penalty marker goes down. Kansas City has the ball. And did they recover the fumble? That's the indication. Now let's see about the penalty. Kansas City has the football. That we got indicated as it looked like Aaron Pearson came up with a fumble, number 96. Glanville looking on. And we will wait and see what the penalty call was and when it occurred.
Penalty was going to be holding against Houston.
Offense, number 52. Tripping, decline, first down.
Third penalty of the day against Pennison. That'll be declined, and Kansas City will get the football. So the Chiefs come up with a big turnover just when it looked like Houston might be able to put another score on the board. 6:52 remaining. Oilers lead by 1.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here.
The Bengals are off to their best start in over a decade, but there'll be no tea party in New England when they battle the Patriots.
Or the hard-nosed Oilers rekindle a bitter rivalry in Steel Town when they battle the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
First and 10 for Kansas City. Herman Hurd getting the call. And Hurd slashing out across the 25-yard line. He's had a good day. Smith 54 and Grimsley 59 making the stop. We show you the fumble a moment ago. They finally have indicated to us that it was Mike Bell who came up with it, Reggie.
Right side of your screen, watch where number 74 is, and you'll see Mike Bell, number 99, with that ball on the ground. Very alert Mike Bell recovering Mike Rozier's fumble. Herman Hurd with an excellent first down run, picking up 7 yards.
The Berg hands off to Hurd again, and he is very close to a first down. That is John Grimsley, 59, Al Smith, 54. Cincinnati still holding on to a 7-0 advantage. Cleveland trying to come back. Buffalo back in the lead as they seesawed back and forth with Indianapolis. Green Bay, Chicago, and the Rams romping. Washington in great shape. Minnesota by 1 over Tampa Bay. 7-6 the score here. Oilers lead the Chiefs. Measurement coming. He get the first down? He did. Ball just over the 30-yard line. 5:58 remaining in regulation time. The Oilers 7-6. In the first half, field goals of 28 and 51 yards by Lowry. In the second half, the only score, Brent Peace bootlegging it in from 4 yards out. Hurd now with 46 yards on 7 carries. Play action by DeBerg. Look out. Down he goes at the 22-yard line. Robert Lyles, 93. Sean Jones, 96 were there.
Watch the pressure coming from both sides now. You see number 93, Robert Lyles, coming right in there. He grabs the arm of DeBerg. DeBerg can't get the ball away. Sean Jones, who came over in the trade with the Raiders, gets the sack. They both get an assist there. DeBerg sacked once again. He is really taking a pounding from the rush of the Oilers.
DeBerg looking to the sidelines and to Coach Gans and saying, what am I supposed to do out here? 3 sacks today for the Oilers. 2nd and 18. A lot of time. And it goes out to Stephon Page, and how he held on, I don't know. Bostic really racked him up. Bostic, number 25, the strong safety.
They are just whacking Stephon Page every time they get a chance, and Stephon Page showing all kinds of courage, just keeps catching the football and taking the lick and getting up.
Kittrick Taylor comes into the lineup, number 82 for Kansas City. Bostic, a Pro Bowler. He's a real hitter, that Bostic. Now it is 3rd down and 14.
And Ray Childress, number 79, Glanville said a week ago, Childress played the finest game of his career as an Oiler. You see him again getting around the left side. That's Irv Eatman that he beats once again. Childress with the sack. He has really come of age. Former first-round draft choice from Texas A&M, having an outstanding game again today.
Johnson set to return the punt. Goodburn gets it away. It's a short kick. Taken and returned down to the 45-yard line by Kenny Johnson. Johnson hit by 52, Angelo Snipes. We have 4 minutes, 18 seconds left in regulation time here in the Astrodome.
Kenny Johnson, number 22, is going at it with some of the Chiefs. Boy, this game doesn't lack for anything. No place to hide down on that field.
32-yard punt. Ball spotted now at the 46-yard line. This has been a hard-fought battle between these two old rivals. They haven't had a lot of scoring, but I want to tell you they have played hard at every position and in the trenches. It has been a rock'em sock'em situation for both sides here.
And I've never seen so many games mean so much in terms of the playoff picture, Jay, so early. You know what I'm saying? Teams are aware that they cannot afford to lose another ball game, and this is what, week 6? And here Gans and as a matter of fact, Glanville are both saying the same thing. We've got to hang close. We got to stick tight so that we don't get out of the race.
We're going down to the wire in this one with 4:18 remaining. Good to be reunited this afternoon with an old friend, Jim Maroney, who is producing for NBC today, and our thanks to him and his entire crew, and Tom Edwards, our director, bringing you the sights and sounds of the National Football League from the Dome with these two rivals, Kansas City and Houston. First down, Oilers. Again, if you just joined us, Brent Peace had to take over for Cordy Carlson. Carlson with an injured right thumb in the first half. Rozier, no gain. Or check it, that was Pinkett and not Rozier. It's Pinkett and Highsmith in the backfield. Mike Bell, 99 on the tackle. It was Bell who came away with that fumble recovery a few minutes ago. 4 minutes remaining. And the Houston Oilers will try to eat some of this clock up right now, leading by 1. Rozier now comes back in.
To show you how talented they are, as Pinkett goes off and Rozier comes back in, they still have Lorenzo White, who was the #1 draft choice, sitting on the bench just itching to play.
White, who is averaging 5.5 yards per carry, is carried for 61 yards, is in the Bula Bula phase, as Coach Glanville calls it, of his professional career. I'll develop that in a moment. Rozier getting down near the 42-yard line, wrapped up by Bell, 99.
What that means is that when these young players come out of college and they've been I-backs all of their collegiate careers, they come to the professional leagues very one-dimensional, Rozier included. They haven't been in an offense where they catch footballs, where they run and they block and they play in all the various positions in the backfield. They've just basically been people lining up deep in the eye and carrying the ball about 35 times a game.
Glanville calls it the Bula Bula phase. I guess graduates of Yale wouldn't like that.
No, I'm sure they wouldn't.
Third down situation. Houston 2 out of 11. And it is third down and 5. And it is Rozier, or Pinkett again, wrapped up right around the 40-yard line. You see the clock inserted. Tackle made by Neil Smith, number 90. Kansas City down by 1 will get the football back. Everything goes their way. Timeout, Kansas City. Houston is out of timeouts.
And I think that Houston should have been looking to do a little more than they did just then, Jay. This is not a secure lead whatsoever.
It's 7-6. Oilers. Houston leading here, a doubleheader Sunday on NBC. Many of you, of course, will be able to check out another game here on NBC in just a few moments. You'll want to check your local listings for the game coming up in your area. I hope, of course, you'll join us next week for NFL action, and the World Series will come your way on NBC. Who will it be? It's beginning to look more and more like it might be Oakland
and the Mets.
But there's still some playing to be done. Punting time for Greg Montgomery, the rookie from Michigan State. Taylor lets it go, and touchback. Well, that came very close to being down right at the 1 or 2 yard line. As downfield,
Chris Dishman could have allowed that ball to just rest on its own, and he probably would have had a ball down inside the 5.
Well, that's a tough one. We'll pause briefly now for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WDAF TV4 Kansas City.
With Reggie Rucker, Jay Randolph, 2:26 remaining here. The Oilers leading the Chiefs 7-6. Kansas City starts from the 20-yard line here. Down by 1. Steve DeBerg directing traffic and the Chiefs.
And this is a football game Kansas City can win if DeBerg gets good pass protection.
And he does it. And again, it's Ray Childress, number 79, on the sack, beating Irv Eatman.
It has taken 4 years, but number 79, Ray Childress, that's an all-pro move right there. There's a man that's looking for national recognition finally down here in Houston, and he is giving this Houston defense and those cornerbacks, I can tell you, a big smile by the kind of pressure he is putting on DeBerg.
2nd down and 20. DeBerg throwing up the middle and completing it. That is number 86, Emil Harry. Harry out of Stanford. Good catch there and a big play. Keeps their chances alive. Johnson 23 on the coverage.
DeBerg under all kinds of pressure that time. Really have a lot of respect for what he's been able to do today. He's been hit almost every time he released the football. He never saw that completion to Emil Harry that time, and it put Kansas City in a situation to really pick up the first down.
Harry with 12 catches coming into today's game, emerged last week. He played at Stanford. Chiefs used to have a fellow named Chris Burford, who was a fine pass catcher out of Stanford years ago. On 3rd down, little fake, bad pass. Oh boy, DeBerg is upset with himself. If he gets that ball to Paul Palmer, they've got a first down.
He's got a big play. There's a fight going here. Irv Eatman and somebody else. So this has been going on. I've never seen so many penalties thrown, not on one side or the other, but against both teams all day.
Well, this is, we knew, was going to be a highly charged affair.
But so much is at stake. The point we brought up earlier, Jay, about how this game has such an impact on the race so early in the season. Of course, if Kansas City could win today, they'd be 2-3-1. They'd be just maybe a half game behind the leader, if depending upon what Seattle does in Cleveland.
If that ball gets to Palmer, he's got a chance maybe to get it into position for Lowry, or certainly to get downfield with some good yardage. At least it looked like it developed
10 yards
well for him.
He had 10 yards on the nearest pursuer. With his speed, you don't know what might have happened.
Let's listen in now. Well, now wait a minute. They're still discussing. The line judge is,
if they do anything other than
things over.
If they do anything other than offsetting, Jay, I'd be very surprised.
The line judge, Jack Johnson, and Silva is waiting for them to come up with their
unsportsmanlike conduct. 95, Houston. 15 yards and a first down.
Well, I'm surprised. William Fuller. And this is going to give Kansas City another opportunity. A lot of time, 1:58 to play. They're down 7-6. We'll take timeout. Back with the final 2 minutes of this one right after this. The Oilers lead by 1. They're the most penalized team in pro football, and they just got hurt with a big one here.
Yeah, that kind of penalty is really mindless. It hurts you. It causes you to lose football games. As I said earlier, it's one thing about being aggressive, but you can't be foolish.
Well, the penalty yardage right there. Special thanks to our support crew. They always do a great job here in Houston. And here we go with 1:58 to play. Regulation. Oilers leading 7-6. First and 10, Kansas City. That's Palmer.
I don't like the play.
No, and the play was made by Fuller, 95, that kept him in bounds.
Don't like the play at all. I think you have to do some things to get a guy like Palmer in the open field. Swing pass, screen pass, pass underneath. Don't put him in a situation like that.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. DeBerg throwing, incomplete, and a lot of pressure. Trying to get it to Palmer, but the pressure put on by Jones and Fuller. Robert Banks, 97, was in there also. There's Banks right in the middle of your screen out of Notre Dame. Ray Childress. Boy, DeBerg has had an afternoon filled with excitement out there.
It looks like a jailbreak right now by Houston. They've got people coming everywhere on DeBerg. I don't even see how the man stays in there. Watch, look at his eyes. He's telling people right now, look, you pick this guy up. These guys are coming.
3rd and 13.
Whoa.
Incomplete. Childress almost got to DeBerg. He did an excellent job of getting away and trying to get the pass to Stephon Page. Coverage over there by the linebacker, Lyles, and it's going to be 4th and 13, and this will be it for Kansas City.
If you make DeBerg move out of the pocket, then the defense has an advantage. This is a drop-back quarterback. This is a man who doesn't really want to limit his options by running to one side and throwing on the run. He doesn't do that well. So here we go, 4th down. This is for everything. Watch the pass protection. They've got to give him more time.
He's got time.
Oh, the receiver
fell down.
He was open and he fell down.
It looked like Carlos Carson was the man he was going to try to get it to. He fell down at the 42-yard line.
Carson runs a good move here. DeBerg finally gets the protection he's looking for. Now he's open right there, right now, and he falls down, and everybody is saying, oh, my goodness, thank goodness.
And Carson comes off, and a very dejected Steve DeBerg. This guy's a battler. You'll have to say that for him.
You have to like his spirit. I have a lot of admiration, a lot of respect for him because today he took a pounding.
The Oilers have the football with 1:18 remaining. All they need to do is protect it. There's the report card today.
15 of 30 for DeBerg, 163 tough yards. Herman Hurd came in, did a good job running the football.
Peace hands it off to Rozier. He protects the football. Gets it down to the 31-yard line. Duron Cherry, number 20, on the tackle.
It appeared then that the Chiefs weren't even tackling. Of course, the story for Houston is the play of number 30, Mike Rozier. They lost Cody Carlson. Brent Peace had to come into the ball game, and to put it nicely, Jay, he just had a terrible day. Brent Peace, 2 of 14, 3 interceptions. Rozier, 25 carries, 130 yards behind the good offensive line blocking, and Alonzo Highsmith.
Peace will remember this day
forever.
And he'll also remember that he got the touchdown.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
Yes.
In spite of all the adversity.
Well, this fella has to be very tired.
Well, time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser, and it is Mike Rozier from Houston. Budweiser to make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all of the MVPs that are selected in the games in the National Football League today. Rozier, a class act,
yes,
and a big day when someone had to pick up the slack for Houston.
No question about it. When you have young quarterbacks, people with inexperience, your supporting cast has to rise above all of the adversity and play well, and they did that today. And remember this too, Jay, as Houston now will run this clock out.
I think that's the last timeout that Kansas City has available to them.
Very important now for the AFC Central Division, because Cleveland, I think, and we'll get a look at the ticker in a minute, maybe lose. They did lose.
That's over.
That game is over, so that will put Houston in second place all alone in the AFC Central.
The Rams 33-0 over Atlanta. Washington puts it on Dallas. Minnesota sneaks by Tampa Bay.
And for Kansas City, they're going to move to 1-4-1, and realistically speaking, that's going to put them out of the playoff picture.
Well, Jackson, of course, will be returning, and Coach Glanville and his squad will head to Pittsburgh. Coming up next, of course, the second half of the doubleheader, the Battle of the Bay, the Denver Broncos, San Francisco 49ers, and other regional action. Stay with us. Check your local listing and your local station. Stay with NBC this afternoon for National Football League action. It is 3rd down and 1 at the 30. 1:05 remaining. Oilers lead 7-6. And Rozier breaking away, getting the first down. Ho-ho! Tackle finally made by Kevin Ross.
No quit in Rozier. He's running the same way now at the end of the game that he was running in the 3rd quarter. Real hard, really determined, with a lot of courage and a lot of power for a man who is only 210 pounds.
1st and 10 coming up at the 20-yard line. .141 yards for Mike Rozier.
Went to the American Football Conference Pro Bowl last year, and it appears that he's headed back again.
This for Rozier, who enjoyed his finest NFL season last year. One of the best games that he's ever had. 141 yards on 27 carries.
And that's doubly tough, Jay, when you realize that Kansas City knew Peace could not throw the football, and they knew he was coming with it. Good, tough running.
And we go through the motion of finishing this one up. That'll do it. A very hard-fought battle. Glanville's club, as Glanville and Gann shake hands, comes away with a 1-point victory. They did it without Cody Carlson, and our congratulations all around to a tough job for Houston. Well, once again, the final score, Kansas City 6, Houston 7. In a moment, we will continue to review the action of today's game as the Oilers won it 7-6.